Welcome you back to Wrigley Field. Bottom of the third inning rolls in, and for the Cubs, it'll be Valbuena, the number 8 hitter. That's only the 20th pitch of the night for Lester. Then Samardzija, then Reed Johnson. No score. Cubs have 2 hits. Lost a guy on the bases. Reed Johnson in the first inning on a line drive double play, hit into by Castro. That's upstairs, a ball and a strike from John Lester. Lester, who was a second-round pick in '02, came up in '06. Same year he was diagnosed with large cell lymphoma. But he came back, and his comeback story was inspirational when in 2007 he worked his way all the way back and was the winning pitcher in the clincher, the World Series that year in Denver, Colorado.
When the Red Sox swept the Rockies 4 in a row.
A few bounces to Aviles, and the shortstop makes the play with Ortiz on the receiving end, 1 out. Valbuena 0 for 7 to start the season.
Boy, that's a good play by Aviles, coming in on the short hop and throwing almost in the same motion to just get Valbuena.
And keep the bases clear as you look at the replay at first base. Nice play by the Boston shortstop, 1 out. Bases are clear in front of Samardzija, who takes the ball outside. Not to say that this at bat won't be exciting, but we can bring in Ken Rosenthal to talk about the Cubs situation and some of those young kids they have on the way that are in the pipeline. But it'll be a while before they're established big leaguers here in Chicago, Ken.
Right, Joe, but they don't expect it to take 5 years. They think they can compete by 2015. And yes, it's going to be more of a challenge for them, but in the NL Central, it's a little forgiving.
Here's a ground ball to Pedroia, 2 out. Go ahead.
What they can do, Joe, right now is make some trades, bring in some prospects that way, and they're willing to pick up big money on Soriano, on Dempster, on Garza. They'll pick up as much money as necessary in order to get better players in return. Now also, one challenge for them here is the new restrictions on amateur spending, both domestically and internationally. That's why they just gave $30 million to the Cuban defector Jorge Soler. He was not covered by that, so they brought him in. Yes, it's going to take time. They're especially short on pitching, but they believe they can make it work.
2 out, nobody on. The batter's Reed Johnson, who takes a strike. There's Matt Garza, who is a guy who's proven he can win in the AL East if some team like the Yankees or another club wants to go get him. It's one thing to be successful in the big leagues. It's another to be successful in that division, as he was with the Tampa Bay Rays. And Garza is appealing because he is under club control for 1 more year after this year if a team wants to make it right for the Cubs. Counts 0-2 on Reed Johnson. By the way, Garza is 7-4 in his career in the regular season against the Red Sox, 2-0 in the postseason against Boston. A strikeout for Lester, his second of the night. He appears dialed in on a warm Saturday evening at Wrigley Field. We go to the 4th. Red Sox and Cubs, no score.
Sometimes circles just make sense. Most knee replacements follow an oval motion. The get-around knee from Stryker is designed to replace the knee's naturally circular motion. Don't just replace your knee, replace the way your knee moves. All surgery has risks. Recovery takes time and individual results vary. The lifetime of any device is limited and depends on several factors like weight and activity level. Ask your doctor if the get-around knee is right for you.
When you pay too much for cable, you feel powerless. When you feel powerless, you want to take the power back. When you want to take the power back, you take karate. When you take karate, you want to use your karate. When you want to use your karate, you become the fist of goodness. When you become the fist of goodness, you run along rooftops. And when you run along rooftops, you fall into a dinner party. Don't fall into a dinner party. Get rid of cable and upgrade to DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
Still have doubts about taking aspirin for tough pain? Listen to what MVP Justin Verlander thinks about it.
I would say the source of most of my muscle pain would be in my shoulder. My trainer, Kevin Rand, recommended it to me. I was kind of skeptical at first, but I tested it out, and Bayer Advanced Aspirin relieved my pain fast. Feeling 100% every start, every 5th day, I think definitely gives me a little bit of an edge.
But don't take his word for it. Put Bayer Advanced Aspirin to the test for yourself at FastReliefChallenge.com.
There are those who think a car that looks like this, feels like this, or moves like this might be too much of a good thing. Nonsense. At Jaguar, we believe that too much of a good thing is a very good thing. The 2012 Jaguar XF. Let your Jaguar retailer make a good thing come alive for you.
Tonight's game is sponsored by the makers of Bayer Advanced Aspirin, the official pain reliever of MLB. And by Jaguar. See the new model year lineup at your local Jaguar retailer. Buckingham Fountain here in Chicago.
Looks refreshing.
Yeah, it does. Sorry for the theme of tonight. One of the few lessons my dad gave me when I got into broadcasting was nobody cares if the announcers are cold or hot. So just shut up. I think I've mentioned that it's muggy and hot and humid 6 times already. We're only in the 4th, and David Ortiz, who was thrown out at the plate to end the top of the 1st inning after drawing a 2-out walk, and then was thrown out on a relay 9-6-2, took a ball. Here is a 1-0 from Samardzija. Ripped into the right field corner, and that ball will get down and go to the wall. Kicks away from Reed Johnson, but anyway you slice that one, it's a double. And Ortiz has the 2nd extra base hit of the night.
That's Saltalamacchia right there. That happened in the 1st inning, but David Ortiz handling an inside fastball, ripping it down the right field line. And the one thing Ortiz is, you've got to be quicker on the fastball that is up. And that's the impressive thing about David Ortiz. As he's gotten older, he not only handles the ball down and in, but up and in too.
You just saw that double from Saltalamacchia's first time. This guy's had a great year. And he's got 11 home runs from the catching position. That ties him for the most in the big leagues at that defensive position among catchers. He's driven in 30, could have been 31 in the 1st inning, and he's hitting .250. Takes a pitch outside for ball 1, and that will bring Castillo to the mound with a runner at 2nd. David Ortiz, they're going to get straight on their signs.
Understandable, the first time a base runner has been on 2nd base today. A young catcher in Castillo. And a young pitcher for that matter.
We talked to Dave McKay, who was the longtime first base coach both in Oakland and St. Louis for Tony La Russa, about Dale Swaim, who you just saw. There's Dave. And he thinks Dale Swaim's going to be a real good major league manager and has a lot of the same characteristics that La Russa possessed in what was a Hall of Fame career. Here's a foul backing out of play. A 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
I can't think of a nicer thing to say than someone compared with the great Tony La Russa.
McKay was with him for 26 years, 16 of which were in St. Louis.
In fact, he'll be the first base coach in the All-Star game on July 10th in Kansas City.
All those coaches that were with La Russa last year, plus others, will be coaches for the National League in Kansas City. There's strike 2 on a high delivery from Samardzija and Saltalamacchia.
That was a splitter that got away. Fortunately for Samardzija, swung through by Saltalamacchia.
They just announced that Terry Collins of the Mets and Ron Renicky of the Brewers will join. Dave Duncan, who will come back. Tony La Russa out of retirement in essence to manage the All-Star team. Mark McGwire, Dave McKay, Jose Oquendo. Here's a 1-2. High fly ball to right. Back at the track. This ball is gone. A 2-run home run for Saltalamacchia and the first runs of the night. They belong to the Red Sox, who lead 2-0. Home run number 12, and that's got Samardzija shaking his head.
You know, he got away with that first splitter up. Saltalamacchia swinging and missing to get to 2 strikes. So that's a mistake he got away with. The second splitter, Saltalamacchia said, I'll handle this one myself, and he put the Red Sox up.
So the good year continues for Saltalamacchia. And with nobody on or out, Middlebrooks takes a pitch up and away, ball 1. Will hit a hard ball left side, was fielded by Valbuena his first time up. That's high again, and the count 2-0. I want to talk to Ken Rosenthal during the inning about the Euclid situation as you see Middlebrooks playing third base. Euclid has come off the disabled list, was on with a bad back, and Kenny, he hasn't hit at all. He's got a lot of money left on his contract for the rest of this season. What's the status with him?
So right now is neutral. He is stuck in neutral, and the Red Sox are stuck in neutral, and the reason is this. He's 3 for 34 right now, so he's not hitting. He's making, as you said, $12 million this year, plus he has $1 million buyout on his option. So it's a lot of money for not a lot of production for a player who is in physical decline. So really, right now, all the Red Sox can do is wait, but the trick is they've got to play him to get his value up, and then here come all their outfielders off the DL pretty soon, so they'll no longer be able to play Adrian Gonzalez in right. It's a very tricky situation, Joe.
Still only 33 years old, however, and a chance to get well and help some other team. It seems to me that if they get rid of Euclid, it's not that he can't play, but that Middlebrooks can.
As he strikes out for out number 1 here in the 4th inning. Second strikeout for Samardzija, so the 27-year-old right-hander comes back after the home run and gets a strikeout, 1 out in the inning. Yeah, Cody Ross is on his way back this next week. Eventually, right around the break, maybe after the break, Bobby Valentine could be writing the name of Jacoby Ellsbury into that lineup. Carl Crawford into that lineup. It has not gone according to plan, and for the Red Sox, they have more lost player days on the disabled list than any other team in the big leagues here in 2012.
It's all Bobby Valentine needs, too. Yesterday, announcing to the press almost as an afterthought that, by the way, Josh Beckett will not start on Sunday night.
And he's been since placed on the disabled list with inflammation in his pitching shoulder. 1 ball, 1 strike on Adrian Gonzalez. And as Bobby Valentine told us before the game, there is always inflammation in that shoulder, but it just hasn't cleared since his last start, which was a loss on Monday to the Marlins. So they're going to put him on the DL, hope to get him back, and then plow through the rest of the way through the All-Star break, and then evaluate it in the second half as the count goes to 1-2 on Gonzalez. You can see a difference in the pitch count between the 2 starters tonight. Lester's been very economical. 1-2 pitch, a strikeout for out number 2.
That was a good splitter there. That ball really went down off the plate to Gonzalez. Check the route of that splitter. Good one.
Strikeout number 3 for Samardzija. And if you think about Beckett, who's had a couple of blow-up starts, but for the most part has been okay. You look at Boston and their rotation. Their left-hander, their young left-hander, Felix Doubront, has been really their most consistent starter since the beginning of the year. Clay Buchholz has been their best of late. But Doubront, who was inserted in the rotation along with Daniel Bard to start the season. Bard's now in the minor leagues. Doubront is picking up steam as the year goes on, as the count goes to 0-2, and now Samardzija could strike out the side.
Felix Doubront 7-4 on the year. He had the best spring of any Boston pitcher, and he's had the best season of any Boston pitcher. Clay Buchholz 3-0 in June.
With an ERA of 1.45 over his last 4 starts after an ERA of over 9 over his first 6. The count goes to 1-2 on Sweeney, who's not homered since last July. Average at 298. He grounds it to first, foul. Played by Baker, and Samardzija will keep that baseball.
Dave Magadan, the hitting coach for the Red Sox, talking to Sweeney about when to go the other way. That's when 2 strikes are on you, or when to try to pull 2-0, 3-1.
That's on the inside corner. Sweeney doesn't like it. Samardzija strikes out the side, but that comes after this. Samardzija, Saltalamacchia, a lot of letters. 1 home run, 2 runs on the board. 2-0 Boston after 3.5.
You sprayed them. Thought they were dead. Shoulda used Roundup, America's #1 weed killer. It kills weeds to the root, so they don't come back. Guaranteed. Weeds won't play dead, they'll stay dead. Roundup. No root, no weed, no problem.
I may have retired from the game, but not from being big. Good thing 1 car gives me full-size luxury and 36 miles per gallon, which is nice because I've got shoes that are bigger than most hybrids. And more stylish, too. If you don't know the luxurious yet fuel-efficient LaCrosse, you don't know Buick.
Now get 2 years of premium services on the EPA-estimated 36 Highway MPG LaCrosse for just $279 per month. Consider it a new lease on luxury.
This nation shall not perish from the earth.
Save mankind, Mr. Lincoln.
Rated R. Friday.
Swipe of a comb, the last gray-haired man on Earth disappeared.
This is how the gray era met its end. Just for Men Auto Stop. It's a breakthrough. No mix, no mess. It just combs in. And the formula shuts off at just the right color for the perfect look every time. It's foolproof. New, Just for Men Auto Stop. Gray is over.
Interleague action continues on MLB Network's Tuesday Night Baseball. Carlos Beltran and the world champion Cardinals are Motor City bound to take on Fielder, Cabrera, and the Tigers. Cardinals, Tigers, live on MLB Network's Tuesday Night Baseball. Go to MLBnetwork.com for schedule.
As we welcome you back to Wrigley Field, this thing slips into the bottom of the 4th inning. 2-0 Red Sox and a home run by Saltalamacchia. The ball inside to Darwin Barney. Who his first time bounced out to 3rd. It'll be Barney, then Castro, then Soriano. Jeff Baker, if anybody gets on, who's 5 for 5, by the way, in his career against Leicester. Count goes to 1-1. Chicago has 22 wins on the year. 22-42. 14.5 games out, and that foul ball makes it 1-2. Cubs fired their hitting instructor Rudy Jaramillo during the week on Tuesday. 61-year-old hitting instructor in his 3rd season with the Cubs and on his 3rd manager. There's Jamie Quirk, the bench coach for Dale Swaim. Guy who was 15 years the hitting coach for the Texas Rangers. As that one is pulled foul, the count 1-2, and there is a shift of philosophy, it would seem, here with the Cubs.
Yeah, with Theo Epstein bringing that on-base percentage as a very important, if not the most important statistic. But Theo expounded on that this week in the Chicago papers. Oh, good cutter on the outside corner to get Barney.
And strikeout number 3 on the night for the left-hander Lester.
There's the cutter sailing back over the outside part of the plate. Theo Epstein talking and explaining more fully the on-base percentage. He said, look, we want our guys to get in good hitting situations. And interestingly, Starlin Castro is one of those guys that does not get in good hitting situations. You mentioned his 6 walks and 50 strikeouts. That is antithetical of what the Cubs are talking about.
Here's a two-hopper off the bat of Castro. Wide throw, and Castro is safe as Middlebrooks pulled David Ortiz off the bag. And
like
that should be an error.
A relatively easy play, but Middlebrooks throwing that ball flat-footed and an error on Will. But you know, I found it very interesting, Joe, that in the same week they hire for $30 million, they signed Jorge Soler and fire their hitting instructor, Rudy Jaramillo, because Soler, as are a lot of Hispanic hitters, a lot of hitters from the Dominican Republic and Cuba, they're not selective hitters, they're free swingers. So in a period of 2 days, they sign a free swinger and fire a hitting coach.
And hire James Rowson, who you saw in the dugout, a guy who was in the Yankees organization for 6 years, had come to the Cubs. And now a guy who was roving around in the minor leagues is going to have a chance whenever the day comes when Anthony Rizzo gets called up, or Brett Jackson. Here's Saltalamacchia, and he got him. Out at second base is Starlin Castro, and that is just the 7th base runner caught stealing this season by Saltalamacchia, and he's doing it all tonight.
That's 7th caught stealing in 43 attempts. That's a percentage of about 15%.
How's that throw?
Right on the money. Castro an easy out at second.
And for Starlin, he has been caught now 7 times. Here's a grounder to Middlebrooks, gets a do-over. And the inning is over. So Lester has a 2-0 lead, faces only 3 in the 4th. Saltalamacchia has done it with his bat in his arm. 2-0 Red Sox.
You're at the age where you don't get thrown by curveballs. This is the age of knowing how to get things done. So why let erectile dysfunction get in your way? Talk to your doctor about Viagra. 20 million men already have. Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain. It may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects include headache, flushing, upset stomach, and abnormal vision. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing. This is the age of taking action. Viagra. Talk to your doctor.
If you can hold your nachos with one hand, you can be a hero with the other. Because your nachos are wrapped inside Taco Bell's new 99-cent beefy nacho burrito.
There's a stain and sealant in one that waterproofs, protects, and beautifies with every single stroke. We call it Olympic Maximum. You'll call it the ultimate multitasker. Insist on Olympic. Available at Lowe's and other fine retailers.
Okay, look. When gas prices jump, you still gotta work. So suddenly you're cutting back on everything from family vacations to cell phone minutes. Well, here's a thought. How about cutting back on gas? Here's how. The Ford F-150. It gets 23 highway miles per gallon. That's the best. So you can get the job done and get a break at the pump. Yeah, how's that sound? This is the future. This is the Ford F-150.
This Father's Day, get a DeWalt 18-volt cordless drill with 2 batteries and charger for just $99. Or get Dad a Campbell Hossfeld twin-stack compressor, complete with nail gun and other handy accessories for just $59. Lowe's, never stop improving.
Another look around Chicago as baseball night in America, presented by Budweiser, rolls on into the 5th inning. And here in the 5th for the Red Sox, who lead 2-0. It'll be Aviles, the shortstop, the number 8 hitter, then Lester, and then back to the top on Sednick. 2-run shot by Saltalamacchia last inning. Then Samardzija came back to strike out the side. The game break coming your way. Veskurgin is locked and loaded, ready to go as a 96-mile-an-hour fastball is fouled back. It's 1-1. It's a Baltimore-Atlanta Brave game break coming your way. Here's a 1-1. That's hooked foul. Strike 2. So it'll be Franklin Morales for the Red Sox tomorrow night against Mahalem, the left-hander. Here's a 1-2. Fouled back into the right. Still 1-2. So a pair of left-handers, and for the Red Sox, we're trying to stretch out Franklin Morales to maybe make him a spot starter. He worked in long relief behind Daisuke Matsuzaka after his first start. Coming back from Tommy John. He got the start yesterday. Got the loss. Vilas strikes out. That's 4 in a row. That's tomorrow night. Right now, it's a game break. Here's Matt Vasgersian.
Joe, as you mentioned, Orioles and Braves. Anthony Varvaro has Mark Reynolds all but put away on 0-2 with 2 out, but he hangs a breaking ball, and Reynolds drives in a pair. One note, Major League ERA leader Brandon Beachy removed in the 4th with an apparent elbow injury. More info as it becomes available. Back to Joe and Tim at Wrigley.
Boy. Ooh. Big loss for the Braves.
Yeah, that's bad news for a team that won last night over Baltimore and is trying to gain a game on first place Washington as Lester fouls one into the seats and the count 1-1. Meanwhile, the Orioles are trying to win in Atlanta to stay a game and a half out in the AL East. They're 2 games back at the moment, and that's what Adam Jones has been doing. Red hot. Got a contract extension, and he is one of the game's young stars. The count goes to 1-2 on Lester. 0 for 3 on the year, swinging the bat. Fonsednik next. Got him on the outside corner or on the swing. We'll say swinging. His home plate umpire Alfonso Marquez was pointing at Beckett on his, or rather Lester on his way out. That's 5 strikeouts in a row for the right-hander Samardzija. And with the bases empty, Podsednik will take his time getting to the plate.
Sometimes it's tough to measure how important a manager is with his first time with a franchise. But Buck Showalter is showing that he has made a difference with the Baltimore Orioles. Almost half a season and has them in second place, only 2 games out going into their game tonight.
You can see the good stuff by Samardzija. He just pounds one over the inside part. A heavy fastball he throws and will work inside much more this year than he has in the past. Good tight breaking ball there for strike 2. And he's trying to strike out 6 straight.
Yeah, again, Joe, it's the difference in working 1 1/3, 1 2/3 innings from the bullpen and starting. You can use your stuff a lot better.
Well, he's throwing hard. 98. And the count still 0-2.
Dale Schwaim said his time with Milwaukee last year, some of the hitters were saying, oh, let me at Samardzija. I can get some good hacks against him. And then he came up with that splitter and that slider, and they said, he's nastier than he's ever been.
Schwaim, who was a player for 12 years, 11 years he's been a coach, including 2 years with Boston in 04 and 05. So he was there for all that fun in 2004. Went back to the team where he played the majority of his 12-year career. Here's a ground ball right side foul. Still 1-2.
Still a bit hard to believe that the Red Sox came back and beat the Yankees 4 in a row, isn't it? After that drubbing they took in Game 3 of the ALCS.
That's what made it all the more remarkable.
We talked about it. It was the most hard hit balls that we had seen in a 9-inning game. I know in my career.
Well,
I mean, balls.
You got me covered.
Yeah, but balls are just rocketing off the wall, over the wall. They scored, what, 19 runs? And yet the Red Sox came back and remarkably.
It was 19-8 final.
19-8, right. Jeez.
Meanwhile, it shows why the game is great, because if not for Dave Roberts being safe on a steal, history isn't made.
Bill Miller's single up the middle to tie it. David Ortiz to win it in extra innings.
Samardzija makes a nice play, stabbing it to his left, and he is settled in after the 2-run home run. Let's talk arms and pitching. Samardzija, Lester, and the arm of Saltalamacchia. 2-0. Halfway through it.
Baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, Chevrolet. Baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet.
They go together, and they're gonna hold you as
Baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet.
From small towns to big leagues, Chevy runs deep.
I met a girl.
Well, what's her name?
White trash name, yes.
Mandy.
Nope.
Brittany.
Nope.
Speed round. I'm gonna rattle off some names.
I will tell you.
You got me?
Yeah.
All right, Brandy, Heather, Channing, Brianna, Amber, Sabrina, Melody, Dakota, Sierra, Bambi, Crystal, Samantha, Autumn, Ruby, Taylor, Tara, Tammy, Lauren, Charlene, Chantel, Courtney, Misty, Jenny, Krista, Mindy, Noelle, Shelby, Trina, Reba, Cassandra.
Nope.
Wait, was it any one of those names with a Lynn after it?
Yes.
Okay. Brandy Lynn, Heather Lynn,
Tammy Lynn.
Ah!
Ted, rated R. Max and his son made their way homeward bound when mischievous rain dropped down, down, down. Safety was threatened by every roguish drip. They slipped and slid. They couldn't get a grip. Then along came the Michelin Man, reminding them the right tire changes everything. Stop up to 31 feet shorter than a leading competitor with the new Michelin Defender tire, backed by a 90,000-mile warranty. Michelin, a better way forward.
How to speak Australian. Six-pack. Aussie six-pack. Beer. Foster's. Australian for beer.
Hanging out with Cal has its benefits. So does taking one-a-day men's.
Go to stayinthegame.com to enter for a chance to meet me and watch the 2013 MLB All-Star Game.
Tonight's game presented by Budweiser is sponsored by Chevrolet, proud to support youth baseball in cities and towns across the country. Nice night at Wrigley as we go into the bottom of the 5th inning for the Cubs. It's Baker to start it. Jeff takes a ball just off the plate. Baker singled his first time, as I mentioned, 5 for 5 in his career against Leicester. Starts to become more than just a coincidence as he fouls it back. The count 1-1. Mather will be next, and then Wellington Castillo. Here's a 1-1. We're talking about this Cubs team. Their general manager, actually the president, their general manager's Jed Hoyer. Theo Epstein, who helped build up the Red Sox, said yesterday a little bit of talent deficit with this Cubs team. And you look at the bottom of their lineup, trying to get hits and trying to get it back to the top half. An offense that comes in ranked 11th in the National League, 15th in the NL in on-base percentage, and 13th in home runs.
Well, if you're a president or general manager of a club, you have to weigh your words. It's a dicey situation. You can't talk too much about the future, because if you do, you forget the present.
A strike on a swing, and that's out number 1. Strikeout number 4 for John Lester, who's finally retired Jeff Baker. Today is the second to last day to donate the Prostate Cancer Foundation Home Run Challenge. Any home run hit in tonight's game will earn $16,000 for each one. Raised more than $1.6 million for the cause over the last few weeks. For more info, call 1-800-798-CURE. Going online at www.pcf.org. $16,000 tonight in this game with a home run by Saltalamacchia back in the 4th. Here's Mather, strike 1. And Theo did talk about that. He said you have to also understand and appreciate the effort that guys are giving on an everyday basis here.
Yes.
With the present day Cubs, but it's more a long range plan as the count's gone to 0-2 on Mather.
You take a guy like Soriano. If you're Alfonso Soriano, he's 36 years old, and he's not thinking about the future of the Chicago Cubs. He's thinking about the present and what's happening now with the Chicago Cubs. He understands the situation, but It could be said that he perhaps is a little sensitive about the Cubs talking about the future when he won't be a part of it.
Next pitch, a ball down and away, 1-2 on Mather. Soriano, who had a 40-40 season in Washington, signed a big deal here with the Cubs. And the 40-40 thoughts are a long way away for Soriano as Mather strikes out. Shoots a look down at first base umpire Brian Onora. He didn't think he went. That is called a swinging strike 3, 2 out.
Yeah, I think Joe went too far. It's close, but I think first base umpire Brian Onora made the right call.
There's Ryan Dempster, who's been about as good as anybody in the game and was again yesterday. He's gone 22 straight innings with no runs allowed over his last 3 starts. ERA of 2.11, second best in the National League. He's now 3-3 with a win yesterday and actually added in 2 hits, including a triple. And one of the game's real good guys. There are the numbers this season, and if we get a chance in this inning, I know before we finish tonight's game, I want to talk to Ken Rosenthal about Ryan Dempster, and the two spent some time together. Kenny interviewed him, wrote a piece on Dempster, which is well worth the read on foxsports.com. And Ken Rosenthal, Ryan Dempster's got a great approach, doesn't he?
He does, and his feeling is, listen, whatever is best for the organization. If they want to trade me, fine. I'd like to stay, but hey, he understands the realities at hand. And keep in mind, as you mentioned before, Joe, he has enough service time to veto any deal, so he can pick his spot to some degree.
This one's down the right field line and will drop foul. He also has, Kenny, family considerations and 3 children, and seems very comfortable here with the Cubs, despite the fact all the great pitching. He's only got 3 wins this year.
Right, and that's because he is pitching so well. And what he told me is that the secret for him right now is command. And Joe, it stood out to me in our pregame meeting with Dale Swain when he compared what Dempster is doing right now to Greg Maddux. He said Dempster is able to put the ball wherever he wants it, and that is serious praise.
There's one down and in, ball 1. 94 from Lester, who could strike out the side here in the 5th. 1-2 the count on Wellington Castillo. The next from the Boston left-handers, popped up shallow right. That ball might drop. Pedroia can't get there. And on a hop, Dustin Pedroia gets it back into the infield. A flare base hit by Castillo. And he is on with 2 out in the 5th.
Pedroia, of course, trying after that little looper, but a flare base hit for Castillo. Ken touched on it earlier, but if you're a major leaguer with 10 years service and 5 years with the same club, then you can veto a trade. And Ryan Dempster has the right to use that veto power.
Here's Valbuena. There's Dempster, who went from starter to closer back to starter. Guy who's in his mid-30s and could be a big addition to really any contender starting rotation, the way he's going right now. Valbuena takes the ball outside. Teams like the Dodgers seem to be in on that chase. Read about the Yankees, although their pitching's been rolling of late, and they've won 8 in a row now. Here's a 1-0. 2-0. Samardzija, the pitcher's on deck. There is nobody up for the Cubs in their pen, so even if Lester can't get Valbuena, he has a way out of the inning standing in the on-deck circle.
Yeah, you can't develop a pitcher if you're going to take him out trailing by 2 in the middle innings.
When you're 20 games under 500.
Right.
Here's a 2-0. A strike and a good pitch outside corner, 2-1. Two teams that met in the 1918 World Series. series that almost completely lacked offense. A swing and a miss makes it 2-2.
In that series, it's not on this graphic, but in that series, the Chicago Cubs lost in 6 games to the Red Sox. Babe Ruth won 2 games for the Sox. And the earned run average of Chicago was 1.04. And they lost the series.
19 total runs scoring in that World Series.
Yeah.
More for the Cubs than for the Red Sox. And if you saw that during World War I, it was the first time that the Star-Spangled Banner was played before a ball game. So that tradition started in 1918, and the Cubs, because of aspirations for a larger gate, played their home games at Comiskey instead of Wrigley, where they started playing in 1916. A swing and a miss. Valbuena's gone. Lester strikes out the side, and young and old are here at the ballpark. Wrigley Field, 2-0 Red Sox after 5.
So listen up. Ford F-150 was just named Motor Trend's 2012 Truck of the Year. Know why? Well, here's your lesson of the day, pal. It's all in the name, Motor Trend. See, the Ford F-150 is the only truck out there with EcoBoost, which is a powerful motor that also delivers on the trend of excellent gas mileage. Got it? It's Truck of the Year 101, baby. Class dismissed. This is the future. This is the Ford F-150.
Using a MasterCard prepaid card instead of cash saves you check cashing fees with direct deposit straight to your card. Saves you time by not having to stand in line to pay your bills. And gives you the convenience of shopping online. Over time, these little changes can make a big difference. Saving you time and money, that's MasterCard. Making this moment happen, that's priceless. Find the right MasterCard prepaid card for you at yourmoneysmarter.com/prepaid.
0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste.
Sorry I yelled at you all these years. Cece, glad you made it.
Oh, what is this place?
Iowa, only with maximum Pepsi taste and 0 calories.
Whoa.
I love it when he does that. Learn more about the Pepsi Max Field of Dreams at MLB.com/Pepsi Max.
Sometimes circles just make sense. Most knee replacements follow an oval motion. The Get Around knee from Stryker is designed to replace the knee's naturally circular motion. Don't just replace your knee, replace the way your knee moves. All surgery has risks. Recovery takes time and individual results vary. The lifetime of any device is limited and depends on several factors like weight and activity level. Ask your doctor if the Get Around knee is right for you.
Tonight's game is sponsored by the 2012 Ford F-150, built Ford tough. And by MasterCard. Shop and pay your bills online with MasterCard prepaid cards.
I think the Chicago River is the prettiest interior river of any city in the country.
That's great.
They have an architectural tour on the river. I've been on it a couple of times, and it is sensational. Architecture of Chicago, unlike any other city in the country.
And getting a chance to walk back at night with the lights reflecting off the water. It is beautiful. Here's Pedroia for the Red Sox, who lead 2-0. Pedroia, Ortiz, Saltalamacchia. If anybody gets on, Middlebrooks for the Red Sox, who on the strength of that Saltalamacchia home run has got a double and a homer in this game, lead 2-0. On the outside corner from Samardzija as action starts for the Cubs out in their pen. This will be pitch number 98 to the shortstop. Castro shows off the arm, 1 out. And Pedroia is 0 for 3. This July on the 10th. Do not miss the biggest event of the summer as baseball's greatest stars battle for home field advantage in the Fall Classic. The road to the World Series begins with a 2012 All-Star Game Tuesday, July 10th, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. We'll go through some of the leading vote getters to this point as we go through this game. And now we can talk about who might make the start for the National League. Strasburg, Kane, who threw a perfect game during the week. Here's one down the left field line into the corner. It's foul. Off the bat of David Ortiz, strike one. You saw R.A. Dickey, whose season is just incredible, and Lance Lynn, the right-hander who filled in for the injured Chris Carpenter of the Cardinals and has come out of nowhere to a 10-2 record with an ERA under 2.5.
Matt Cain with a perfect game thrown on Wednesday, the 5th no-hitter of the year thrown by major league pitchers. 14 strikeouts, ties Sandy Koufax as the most strikeouts for any perfect game ever pitched.
And it's the first in Giants history. Meanwhile, R.A. Dickey had a 32 2/3 scoreless inning streak snapped as an unearned run scored in his last start. Randy Wells, the right-hander, is getting loose. And Strasburg just keeps on rolling for the Nationals, who are in front in the NL East. Here's a 1-1. Straightens up Ortiz, ball 2. David has walked, doubled, scored 1 run, been thrown out at the plate. He scored when Saltalamacchia rode one out of here to right center. I guess more right than right center. Here comes a 2-1 from Samardzija. Three and 1.
Those are tired breaking balls by Samardzija. Whenever they're up and away to left-handed batters, there's no bite to them. And Chris Bosio knows that. That's why Randy Wells is warming.
3-1 pitch is way high, and a 1-out walk is issued to Ortiz, and we'll see if Samardzija gets another batter. How about the pitching this year in 2012 around baseball? 5 no-hitters by June 13th. The most since 1917. 2 perfect games with Umber earlier in the year and then Matt Cain, and the overall batting average around baseball the lowest in 72. And Jason Hamill, we understand, has a no-hitter through 6 for Baltimore at Atlanta. So if it continues and progresses, we will certainly take you there and cover that. 1 on, 1 out. Saltalamacchia has figured out Samardzija so far, ball 1.
0 for 17 coming into this game.
Tried to hold up. Did he? He did. In the count 2-0, and everything's been up.
Joe, we talked about Sandy Koufax with 14 strikeouts in his perfect game against the Cubs in Los Angeles, September 9th, 1965. His opponent was Bob Henley, and between the two of them, they allowed 2 base runners in the game, the fewest ever in a major league game. Dodgers won it 1-0. Lou Johnson had the only hit of the game, a double off Bob Henley.
Ball 3 is upstairs, and there's the comparison, the pitch count and the strikeouts. I know Koufax was worried about the pitch count.
Yeah, right. I'm surprised they had the pitch count from that year.
Here is a 3-0 from Samardzija. It's a strike. Still throwing hard, 95 miles per hour, with Middlebrooks on deck and Randy Wells in the bullpen for the Cubs.
And he's fallen behind first Ortiz and now Saltalamacchia with high fastballs. That's a sign of weariness.
Now a 3-1 is high again. A walk, back-to-back walks, and that could be it. Let's go quickly for a game break. Here's Matt Vasgersian.
Joe and Tim, Orioles and Braves. Hey, Baltimore right-hander Jason Hamill took a no-hit bid into the 8th in his first start as an Oriole in early April. He's through 6 without a hit tonight in Atlanta. We'll stay on top of it. Joe and Tim, back to you guys.
All right, thanks. And here we're going to have a double switch. David DeJesus will come into the game, as will Randy Wells. That's the end of the night for Jeff Samardzija.
Let's have a barbecue today.
Awesome!
Let's have a barbecue today.
Hey guys, let's have a barbecue today.
Today is barbecue day at Burger King. We're grilling up our delicious new summer barbecue menu, featuring Carolina and Texas barbecue Whopper sandwiches and tender grilled chicken sandwiches, crispy sweet potato fries, and refreshing frozen lemonades. Let's have a barbecue today. King.
The next generation of investing technology is now within your grasp. With the all-new eTrade 360 investing dashboard. eTrade 360 is the world's first investing homepage that shows you where all your investments are and what they're doing. With free streaming quotes, news, analysis, and even your trade ticket. Everything exactly the way you want it. All on one page. Transform your investing with the all-new eTrade 360 investing dashboard.
You can tell that it's mine when you look in my eyes. When we all believe there are no limits. We take our best shots, make our best moves. When we all believe, we reach higher and nothing stops us. When we all believe in the power within, we pave the road to victory. The 2012 Jeep Wrangler, proudly believing in USA basketball.
This nation shall not perish from the earth.
Save mankind, Mr. Lincoln.
Rated R. Friday. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
2 on with 1 out for Middlebrooks facing Randy Wells out of the bullpen, and the first pitch is smothered by Castillo for ball 1. Reed Johnson moves from right to center. Jesus comes into the game in right. He will lead it off. They'll bat in the number 9 spot. Randy Wells will represent the pitcher's spot in the number 6 hole where Joe Mather was. Here's one right up the middle, a base hit off the bat of Middlebrooks. David Ortiz running hard, will come around to score. The throw not cut off, but Saltalamacchia tagged out for out number 2 of the inning. It's 3-0 Red Sox here in the 6th. Ortiz scores on the hit by Middlebrooks, now 1 for 3 on the night, and that's his 23rd Major League RBI.
Again, bad base running by the Red Sox. This time not Ortiz, who scores rather easily without a play. The throw to third base, and Saltalamacchia is caught in between and is tagged out by Valpueno. I mean, this is a bad play. First we saw Ortiz in the first inning, and now Saltalamacchia stopping at second, going neither forward nor backward, and is tagged out.
And so running the bases with the RBI hit is Middlebrooks at first, 2 out. The batter is Gonzalez. Adrian 0 for 2.
I think Salty was saying when he looked up, third base coach Jerry Royster was holding him, and then he decided to go. Watch him stop right there. And Jerry's saying hold, and he's had a great game. You can excuse one blunder.
Here is a 2-0. Up high from Wells to Gonzalez, 3-0. Adrian's fly to center struck out. That was, by the way, John Lackey. Saltalamacchia was seated next to in the dugout. Trying to make his way back from Tommy John surgery. 3-0 pitch is outside, and that'll put 2 on with 2 out. And it's the third walk handed to the Red Sox in the inning. There's Lackey, and he seems to be on the list. When the quote was made by Theo Epstein during the week leading into this series about how his time with the Boston organization ended. As the batter is Sweeney, and he takes a strike from Wells. Theo said, had we been completely true to our baseball philosophy that we set out and believed in and followed, we probably wouldn't have made certain moves that we made. Moves that, as I look back on them, were moves too much of convenience, of placating elements that shouldn't have been important. Those were my mistakes. Here's a broken back ground ball. Castro makes the play, and the inning is over. Lackey's working his way back, hopefully for the Red Sox. Wells gets out of the top of the sixth. 3-0 Boston.
To the man who coached me, yelled at me, supported me. To the man who cheered me on, slapped me on the back, stood by me. To the man who made me the man I am today.
Gillette, the best a man can get.
I may have retired from the game, but not from being big. Good thing one car gives me full-size luxury and 36 miles per gallon, which is nice because I've got shoes that are bigger than most hybrids. And more stylish, too. If you don't know the luxurious yet fuel-efficient LaCrosse, you don't know Buick.
Now get 2 years of premium services on the EPA-estimated 36 highway MPG LaCrosse for just $279 per month. Consider it a new lease on luxury.
Only Taco Bell can take real nacho cheese Doritos and turn them into the shell of a Taco Supreme. How good does that sound after midnight? The new Doritos Locos Tacos. Get one for fourth meal.
I will throw more complete games. I will make it hail in the bleachers. I will let beast mode off his leash.
I will shatter records. Beast mode never sleeps.
I will make my glove golden. I'll throw 107. I will lead the league in triples.
Yeah, you will. Doblaré mi número de doble jugada.
I will take away center field. I will be Mr. Everything.
Other games in progress on this baseball night at America. Astros and Rangers. Lucas Harrell had been throwing the ball well until he ran into Nelson Cruz. His 9th of the year puts Texas on top in the 6th. How about the Reds and Mets? Cincinnati starting the day winners of 4 straight on top in the NL Central, and they're doing nothing to hurt their standing tonight. Ryan Ludwig's 4th inning single making it 4-1 Reds. Back to Joe and Tim at the friendly confines.
All right, Matt, so Ryan Ludwig, who was kind of an add-on for Walt Jocketty, who knew him in his time with St. Louis, has been a big bat for the Cincinnati Reds, who are hot and leading the NL Central. Trying to beat the Mets the first 2 games of that series. Saw that home run by Nelson Cruz in the throwback game with the Astros' old uniforms. I see those. I think of Nolan Ryan, Dickie Thon, Bob Nepper,
Mike Scott, Billy Hatcher, Bill Doran.
Bill Doran, that's who I was trying to think of. Second baseman. First pitch of ball, now a strike. Kevin Bass.
Kevin took my shoes once. Did I ever tell you that story?
No.
I'll tell you briefly what happened.
1 ball, 1 strike on DeJesus leading it off. His first at bat of the night. Breaking ball misses, ball 2.
Kevin Bass did a drop-dead Sammy Davis Jr. imitation. I asked him for an interview. He said, I'll go on for $250. I said, Kevin, they don't offer you any money. He said, I like those shoes you have on. Why don't you give me those? I gave him my shoes. I thought he was kidding. I have never seen those shoes to this day.
2 balls, 2 strikes on DeJesus. Are you kidding?
That is an absolute true story. So if Kevin Bass is listening, this happened 26 years ago during the 1986 playoffs, Mets and Astros. And Kevin Bass, if you're listening, send me my shoes back. They were good enough to last this long.
Here's a 2-2 pitch down and away. I know how long Tim keeps shoes, so that was a big loss. Kevin, if you're out there, relieve him of his angst. 3 balls, 2 strikes on DeJesus for the Cubs, batting down 3-0 after that RBI by Middlebrooks. Lester with a count full gets a strikeout, his 7th of the night. And he has been in charge tonight. He's allowed 3 hits, 3 singles. That's it.
Tied a career high with 9 strikeouts on Monday night. I'll make that Tuesday night against Miami. And he has 7 tonight. Good high fastball to get DeJesus.
With 1 out, nobody on, here comes Reed Johnson, who has a hit and a strikeout. That's over, but low ball 1. I can hear Kevin Bass saying, well, you offered him.
Yeah, but I thought he was kidding.
Well, would you wear the rest of the night?
Well, no. I gave him the shoes the next day. I did the interview the next day, and I wore different shoes, and I brought him the shoes and gave it to him before the interview.
That would have told me you don't want the shoes. They're all yours.
I love those shoes.
Here's a ground ball right side. Pedroia to his right with a backhand, 2 out. Where are we next week? We're in New York. Subway Series round 2, and this time at Citi Field, home of the Mets. But there's some of the other action. The Brewers, the White Sox, Dodgers, and Angels. The Subway Series, and then you got the Giants and the A's. Battle in the Bay, Braves and Red Sox. Yankees won their 8th straight.
How about their bullpen? Their bullpen has been lights out this year. And they lose 2 key elements in David Robertson and Mariano Rivera.
Rafael Soriano has become the closer. He got the last 3 outs today in the 14th inning. Freddie Garcia gave the Yankees 2 shutout innings in that game. And they are close to getting David Robertson back. He'll be setting up Soriano instead of the other way around. 0-2 on Barney with 2 out, nobody on. You can see the wind whipping around as it's blowing those trees out beyond the bleachers and left, and the flags are starched.
That's a good term. Starched.
Here is an 0-2. That's high, ball 1. The Cubs have hit 2 baseballs out of the infield tonight against Lester. That's it. Reed Johnson single and Castillo single. That's all.
Excuse me, Joe. It's almost as though the wind's blowing in instead of the opposite.
Left side, Middlebrooks, tough play, gathers, throws, base hit. Barney is on with a 2-out infield single, and Middlebrooks did all he could.
Good backhand and throw, making the low throw. Trying to one-hop it to David Ortiz, but Darwin Barney smelling that hit. Forget it.
So another one that doesn't leave the infield, but it is a base hit. The inning continues for Starlin Castro, who was lined out, reached on an error, and been caught stealing. But yeah, you touched on it before, and that's kind of where I was going as well when I said 50 strikeouts, 6 walks for Castro, and that's not what the new regime here with the Cubs wants from their hitters. They want patience. Brought in a new hitting instructor as the on-base percentage has been going down every year over the last 5 years for the Cubs. It's one of the reasons why the Yankees and Red Sox games last as long as they do. They're 2 teams that are as selective and make starting pitchers work. Probably the 2 most selective teams in baseball.
Yes.
Left side, Middlebrooks kicks it. Goes right through him, and now the Cubs have 2 on, 2 out. Hard hit. Middlebrooks couldn't keep it on the infield, and it's a base hit for Starlin Castro.
Yeah, normally you don't get base hits when it's a good hop. I think the ball hit Middlebrooks on the wrist. Another look. Nope, on the thumb area. Never got the middle of the web on the ball. So base hit for Starlin Castro.
And now it sets up Soriano, who, as I mentioned, didn't homer in the first 30 games of the season, was hitting .250. 17 RBIs. But since then, he's over 300 with 12 home runs as the right-hander Sean Camp, who for a while was the closer here with the Cubs, gets loose in the bullpen. Got Baker on deck, then the pitcher's spot. 2 on, 2 out. Up to Soriano. Ball 1 outside. There's that production coming into tonight's game. First 30, and now basically the next 30 for Soriano. Here's a 1-0. Hard hit, but right at Middlebrooks. Juggles it. Soriano didn't run, and he is out, and the crowd lets him hear it.
Boy, you've got to let the umpire call you out and not call yourself out. He didn't run. That looks bad.
2 hits in the inning, 4 left on the night. Back to Chicago after this from your local Fox station.
The 2012 MLB All-Star Game, July 10th on Fox.
Get low monthly payments during Payment Pandemonium at Reynolds Ford.
Don't wait, the deals are hot. 2012 Focus only $177 a month. 2012 Fusion only $203 a month. 2012 Fiesta only $187 a month. 2012 F-150 only $243 a month. 2012 Escape only $197 a month. Low payments, 0% financing from Reynolds Ford.
You won't find better prices or lower payments. Come to Reynolds Ford.
Don't throw away that non-winning Iowa Lottery scratch ticket. It's not trash. It could even help you earn treasures. Earn points for prizes by entering your non-winning Iowa Lottery scratch tickets at ialottery.com. Every ticket is worth points that you can redeem for great prizes, because everyone deserves to enjoy the finer things in life.
So let me get this straight. You want comfort, reliability, and safety? No problem. That would be the Toyota Highlander. It's roomy with seating for 7, has that legendary Toyota quality, and it was named a 2012 IIHS Top Safety Pick. And as if that wasn't enough, there's this.
Get 0.9% APR for 60 months on a fuel-efficient Highlander. And every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care. Now that's a lot for less. Toyota.
The Big Bang Theory. Weeknights at 6 on your Fox 18.
In a game that's featured pretty good pitching and some bad base running, we go to the 7th inning. 3-0 Red Sox. Mike Aviles, the shortstop, is first up. He is 0 for 2. John Lester, the pitcher, on deck. Then Punsednik against Randy Wells, the right-hander, who relieved last inning. That's a strike, and it's 0-2. And Soriano was really hearing it from the fans after not running out that line drive that was eventually dropped by Middlebrooks. And Soriano went out to warm up before the start of this 7th. Counts 0-2, and Aviles takes a ball.
Yeah, the ball wasn't hit that hard, but that's not the point. Run everything out until the umpire calls you out.
Here's a 1-2. Down and away. Wells, former starter, now finds himself in the bullpen. Samardzija went 5 1/3, allowed 3 runs on 4 hits, struck out 6, 1.5 in a row, 6 on the night, walked 3. Left side foul. Here's the final out of the bottom of the 6th.
Ball kind of handcuffs Middlebrooks. Heel of the glove, and it bounces around until it hits the ground. And had he been running hard out of the box, maybe he beats it. Ball was hit hard, in fairness. But again, that's not the point.
Count still 2-2 on Mike Aviles. Everyday shortstop for the Red Sox waits, and here's a 2-2. Just sticks the bat out and dumps it into right. That ball will go down the line, played by DeJesus, and back into the infield. A double for Mike Aviles to start this seventh.
Not only did he stick the bat out, but he stuck something else out too. His rear end. Little flare the other way.
So a double starts the inning in a 3-0 game, and Lester now tries to decipher the signs put out there by Jerry Royster.
Yeah, he's bunting. One sacrifice this year.
Look at the defense on the infield, trying to bunt Aviles over to third. Strike one, outside corner.
What you try to do in this situation, of course, Lester's not an experienced bunter. You try to bunt it toward third and make Valbuena field the ball.
That's strike two. So an 0-2 count. Aviles back to second base, and Lester trying to. And now you can see Bobby Valentine almost saying, go talk to Lester and tell him what to do.
Well, tell him if you're not bunting, go ahead and swing away. You've got the infield in a state of flux.
They abandon the bunt. It's a ball down and in. 1-2. And now Jerry Royster is going to say, come here and let's talk. We have a failure to communicate with hand signs. So we give you the Just for Men Auto Stop foolproof stat. Red Sox 3 and 4 hitters have been on base in all 6 plate appearances tonight. Just as the Red Sox can count on Ortiz, and Saltalamacchia has had a big night, you can count on Just for Men Auto Stop for foolproof results. Bottom of the order trying to chip in on the fun right here. The count 1-2 on Lester. Check swing on ball 2, down and away. We'll get an update on the Jason Hamill no-hit bid for the Orioles in Atlanta in a moment. Here comes a 2-2 pitch. That moment is now. A strikeout for out number 1. We go to Matt Vasgersian at the MLB Network studios for the game break.
Well, Joe, we are officially off of the Jason Hamill no-hitter watch. The Braves waited until there were 2 out in the bottom of the 7th before their first base hit of the game. Thanks to Jason Hayward, it's 5-0 Orioles in the 7th. Back to you guys at Wrigley.
All right, Matt, thank you. And with a runner at second, 1 out. It was a combined no-hitter for the Orioles the last time. Palmer has the last singular no-hitter. What would that say? Back in 1969, Jim Palmer.
Gentleman Jim, who never gave up a Grand Slam home run. Ever. One in the minor leagues. Guess who hit it? Johnny Bench.
Man. Almost like you were prepared for Hamill to test the no-hitter.
Palmer's told me all of those things.
Here comes a 1-0. Podsednik dumps one into center field. Aviles will turn and go. The throw by Reed Johnson it hits the runner, trickles away, and Podsednik down to second in a 4-0 game. Podsednik stays hot. He has an RBI hit, his 7th RBI, and Aviles, who led off with a double, is in to score.
Sometimes when a runner doesn't slide into home plate, that causes the ball to hit him and bounce even farther. Aviles bounces toward the Red Sox dugout, and Podsednik easily goes into second base. Second hit of the game for Scott Podsednik.
They do give an error to Reed Johnson, his first of the year. It's an RBI for Podsednik, took second on the error, and now with Pedroia at the plate, ball 1 outside from Wells. Red Sox lead 4-0 now. They lost here yesterday afternoon 3-0. They lost 7 of 8, won 2 of 3 at Miami, and trying to split the first 2 games here at Wrigley, with Franklin Morales getting the start for the injured Josh Beckett against Paul Maholm tomorrow night, who's 4-5 with the Cubs. Here comes a 1-0. Inside 2-0, and Wells has had a tough time getting ahead of hitters. There's Beckett, who didn't answer questions after the game yesterday, said he had family in town, so he got out. And he is officially on the DL. Here is a 2-0. In the dirt, Castillo keeps it close enough, 3-0. There's yet another runner, in this case Podsednik, out at second base with that sliding thing on their hand that's become kind of the rage in baseball here in 2012.
Well, especially for guys who can run. Other than that, nobody wears them. But Podsednik slides head first into a lot of bases and apparently needs them.
This is the first year I've noticed that thing.
Yeah, me too.
There are many guys that lead off type hitters who have them around baseball.
Yeah. Looks like he's missing a couple of fingers on his left hand. That's not the case.
Here comes a 3-1 pitch with a runner at second, 1 out. Chopper to short. Off the bat of Pedroia, running hard. He is out by a step. Over to third goes Podsednik, 2 out. And Pedroia is 0 for 4 tonight with 4 groundouts, and his frustration continues. Ortiz, on the other hand, as we told you earlier in the inning, has been on base 3 times, combined with Saltalamacchia. The 3-4 combo 6 times in tonight's game. For Ortiz, a double, 2 walks, 2 runs scored. Runner at third, 2 out, and a shift on the infield. With a lot of room at the shortstop position. Ball 1. Only Valbuena left on the left side of the infield for Chicago. Cubs in the bottom of the 7th will have Baker, the pitcher's spot, and Castillo against Lester. Got under it, flies it into center, and dealing with the wind and now having to back up a few is Reed Johnson to end the inning. But a run on a leadoff double by Aviles. And an RBI hit by Podsednik. Little defense in this game and good pitching by Lester. As it's 7th inning stretch time in Wrigley. The Red Sox up 4-0.
The crossover. We have the technology to rebuild it. SkyActiv technology makes it better than it was before. With the best highway MPG of any SUV, even hybrids. The all-new Mazda CX-5 will be that crossover. Better, stronger, smarter. We build Mazdas. What do you drive?
I have 3 daughters and my son, and then I have 11 grandkids. Right when you see them, they're yours. It's like, it's part of me. It's me again. Now that I'm retiring, they all have plans for me. I'm excited.
This is the age of knowing what you're made of. Why let erectile dysfunction get in your way? Talk to your doctor about Viagra. Ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain. It may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects include headache, flushing, upset stomach, and abnormal vision. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing. This is the age of taking action. Viagra. Talk to your doctor.
The clock is ticking, America. It's time we focused on reality instead of rhetoric. It's time we finally get serious about energy prices and energy independence. It's time to embrace the fact that America's unsurpassed coal reserves can deliver centuries of affordable electricity. The clock is ticking. There's never been a more important time for America's most abundant, domestically produced energy resource, coal. Visit americaspower.org to get the facts.
Tonight's game presented by Budweiser is sponsored by Prudential. Prudential, bring your challenges. And by the all-new Mazda CX-5 with 35 highway MPG. From out on Lake Michigan to inside Wrigley Field, and John Lester has a 5-hit shutout going as he pitches in the bottom of the 7th, up 4-0. Baker, big swing, strike one. Jeff's 1 for 2. Campana on deck, and then Castillo. Manny Corpus, the right-hander. That's strike 2. There's Campana, who may be the fastest guy in the big leagues. He can run. The 0-2 pitch. Ball one upstairs from Lester, who checks into this game 3 and 4 with an ERA of 4.57. He's been in charge from the beginning tonight. Here's a 1-2. Little flare into right. That ball might drop, and it is down for a hit. Baker will push it to 2. And by the time Gonzalez gets it back in, it's a leadoff double for Jeff Baker, who's 2 for 3 tonight.
I thought we were going to see a game where there were only bad decisions made on the bases. But Jeff Baker turns this little flare into pulling it off and going to second base. Running hard. He even had Gonzalez come up with it. He was going to try for second, and now obviously what you said, Joe, about the fastest guy in the big leagues, he'll be up there to bunt for a base hit, probably.
That's Campana. He'll dig his way in against the lefty Lester. It's an entirely left-handed bench for Dale Swaim, the Cubs manager, so it's just who do you want? And in this case, he wants the guy who wears number 1 and can really run. He puts pressure on a defense. Shows bunt, takes a strike. Campana wasn't called up until the 3rd week of April. And yet this is a guy that in the stolen base department has stolen 23 already, been caught just 3 times.
That leads the major leagues. He has run himself to the big leagues.
Here's the 0-1. Outside from Lester, and they're stirring down in the Red Sox bullpen, but not throwing yet. That's Aceves, the closer, the nearest guy to you, and Vicente Padilla practicing with a towel.
Throwing the towel.
Here comes the 1-1. Runner at second, nobody out. Doesn't count if you don't let it go. Campana fouls it, trying to bunt, strike 2. On deck is the young catcher Castillo. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. 2-2.
Yeah, you defend a hitter like Campana if you're an outfielder by daring him to hit the ball over your head. Only reason the Red Sox outfielders are that deep is the wind's blowing out.
Now a 2-2 pitch. After a long look, Lester fouled out of play left side. So Campana just slapping at it, either trying to work a walk or find a rare John Lester mistake, who just gave up a bloop double down the right field line. Still under 90 pitches on the night is Lester. Bobby Valentine still does not have anybody getting loose in his bullpen down the right field line. Here's a 2-2 again. Ground ball right side. Runner goes to third. Pedroia makes the play, 1 out. So Campana advances the runner, does not get a base hit, down 4-0, looking for more than that. And here's tonight's better moment. We focus on the performance of John Lester, who has struck out 7. He has allowed no runs so far on 6 hits. And tonight's better moment brought to you by Mazda. Better, stronger, smarter. And Lester's been that tonight. Now Castillo. And the young catcher, strike 1. Wellington has lined out to short. He's singled. And he gets that stick that they use in the on-deck circle out of pine tar rag to try to get a better grip on the bat.
Used to be in baseball that hitters would use the knob to stop their left hand for a right hander, right hand for a left-hander.
Strike 2.
But more and more hitters are going below the knob. In other words, the left pinky of Castillo is actually off the knob. It grips the knob, and you see that more and more. I really don't quite understand it, because that knob is supposed to stop the left hand from going any farther.
Here's the 0-2. Just missed, and Lester wanted that, didn't get it. On top of that, with a knob right in the middle of your palm.
It's uncomfortable, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't think it'd be very comfortable when you make contact. 1-2 the count. Runner at third, 1 out in a 4-0 game. Blocked by Saltalamacchia, picked up clean on a pitch down and in, 2-2. Cubs will be on the south side next on Monday. They take on the White Sox. The Chicago White Sox started the day in first place in the AL Central. Right side, down the line, foul. Flare off the end of the bat, keeps it 2-2.
Cleveland entered the action today a half game back. They lost to Pittsburgh. So Cleveland enters tonight's action. The White Sox playing in Los Angeles a little later. Young Chris Sale blowing a lead last night. Chris Sale, a real chance for the Southsiders to be on the All-Star team. 8-2.
He was matched up last night against Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah.
A lot of runs. Dodgers won it. Fouled back to the screen. Still 2-2. How about A.J. Burnett?
How about that?
First Pirate to win 6 straight starts since 1990. Former Yankee. Here's another foul by Castillo, trying to battle his way on. The Cubs trying to get something going here. Down 4-0 against Lester. Another 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball goes around the strike zone, a full count. On deck is Valbuena. And then DeJesus in the number 9 spot. Some more lefties for Lester. This is a Cubs team that started the day 3-13 against left-handed starters. They are a heavy left-handed hitting team. The 3-2 from Lester is down and in. A good at bat by the young Wellington Castillo, and that's the first walk of the night. That brings Bobby Valentine out of the dugout to talk to Lester with first and third, one out.
I think Bobby out there to just tell him to throw strikes because no one's warming up in the bullpen. It's Lester's inning to finish so far. And now you see more activity.
Atchison and Miller.
Yeah.
Atchison's been so good. And Miller is the only left-hander down there. Andrew Miller is the lone left-hander with Franklin Morales preparing for his start tomorrow night. It's Valbuena who's grounded out, struck out. 3 straight no decisions for Lester, who over those 3 starts has an ERA over 4, and he's battling here in the 7th. Lead runner is Baker. He led off with a double. Campana grounded out. A walk to Castillo. Lester ready with his first. Not close, ball 1. Jesus is 0 for 1 since entering in the 6th. Led off last inning and struck out. He's on deck. Infielders looking for a double play ball. Instead, Valbuena hits it deep at the wall. This is a 1-run game. 3-run shot for Luis Valbuena.
You know what that pitch was, Joe? We used to refer to these as an after the walk fastball. 1 ball, no strike to count. You know you're going to get a fastball to hit. He got it and delivered.
And that ball with the wind blowing out went deep into the bleachers in left center field. First with the Cubs. And Valbuena with 1 swing has made this a 1-run game. Strike hits the outside corner to David DeJesus, who's 0 for 1. th career home run for Valbuena. On the inside corner, strike 2. How about the reaction by Lester? Not much. Give me a ball. Let's go again. Now the 0-2 pitch. Over but low, ball 1. Everybody working over gum. And the 1-2 pitch. Just low. 2-2. Nobody on, 1 out. 1-run game here in the 7th inning, and DeJesus fouls it left side. Cubs bullpen is going to get active again with Corpus, the right-hander. Atchison and Miller still getting loose down the right field line. That for the Cubs is just their 50th home run of the season. They came in with the 13th highest total in the National League. DeJesus waits for now a 2-2 pitch. A full count.
We saw Jeff Samardzija get wild, and he was taken out of the game after a couple of walks. 1 walk by Lester already in this inning. 3-2 to DeJesus.
And the Cubs have made him work. More pitches this inning than any other. That's strike 3 right down the middle. And 2 out in the inning. Strikeout number 8 for Lester, and that's going to be it for the left-handed starter. With Reed Johnson coming up, Scott Atchison, the right-hander, is coming out of the pen. Valentine makes the move. In comes Atchison. 4-3 Boston with 2 out in the bottom of the 7th.
Yep, you're definitely going to need new brake pads.
If I buy an extra set, do I get a discount?
Why would you want to do that?
Stop, 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 stop.
Oops.
I like that one.
You did?
Yeah.
Certified peace of mind, thanks to the Chevy Certified Service Experts.
Get Durastop ceramic brake pads installed for only $74.95 or less per axle after mail-in rebate.
From one dependable trip to the next, Chevy runs deep.
You sprayed them. Thought they were dead. Shoulda used Roundup, America's #1 weed killer. It kills weeds to the root, so they don't come back. Guaranteed. Weeds won't play dead, they'll stay dead. Roundup. No root, no weed, no problem.
If you hold the radical theory that a financial advisor should simplify things without making you feel simple.
If you have the rebellious notion that it's highly complex is not an explanation.
If you believe a financial advisor should keep you in the loop and not in the dark.
Join the nearly 7 million investors who think like you do. FaceTime and Think Time make a difference.
Join us.
At Edward Jones, it's how we make sense of investing.
I'm a Major League Baseball all-star.
I didn't get here by chance. I didn't take the road of easy or the path of the painless. I worked hard to take this field.
For my team, for my league.
Some call it an all-star break.
It's not a break.
It's not a break, but we play on. Because the battle for the postseason begins now. I play for the American League.
Juego para la Liga Americana.
I play for the National League. I will win. I will win. I will win. The road to October starts here.
The MLB All-Star Game, July 10th on Fox.
First pitch is a strike from the right-hander Scott Atchison. Is with 2 out, nobody on. Reed Johnson bats. He was 1 for 3 against Lester. Atchison's been great, and he fires a pitch. Johnson comes up empty. It's 0-2. Scott leads the American League with the most innings pitched in relief. And 18 of his last 19 outings have been scoreless. Come out of nowhere, really, and part of a very good Red Sox bullpen right now. They had a rough April. They've been tremendous since. Here's the 0-2. Out of play right side.
Bobby Valentine has a different view of Scott Atchison as you take a look at John Lester. But Scott Atchison was pitching for Hanshin in Japan. And Bobby Valentine was managing Chiba Latte in 2009. So Bobby Valentine saw Atchison work in Japan. Rather unusual set of circumstances.
Breaking ball misses low for ball 1. Lester's been prowling in that dugout ever since coming out, glaring down in that far end.
I think we were talking about it during the break, Joe. It's like an odd reaction from John Lester.
Trying to, I'm sure, wanting to finish this 7th, not getting the chance after a strikeout of De Jesus. Atchison almost got out of the inning right there. It stays 1-2 on Johnson. Lester 6 2/3, 3 runs, 7 hits, a walk, 8 strikeouts, and the home run. Aviles into his left. Atchison does his usual work. We are through 7, but it's a different feeling game now. After Valbuena with 2 on, shot one out to left center. It's 4-3 Boston. Into the 8th we go.
Max and his son made their way homeward bound when mischievous rain dropped down, down, down.
Safety was threatened by every roguish drip. They slipped and slid. They couldn't get a grip. Then along came the Michelin Man, reminding them the right tire changes everything. Stop up to 31 feet shorter than a leading competitor with the new Michelin Defender tire, backed by a 90,000-mile warranty. Michelin, a better way forward.
Creating a business website is easy. Whether you're a lawyer, a photographer, or a beauty salon, choose from over 200 types of business. Select your company name, color scheme, and design. Done. Customers will find you everywhere. Changes? Anytime. Revise content, layout, and upload your own pictures. One-in-One My Website. Try it now for free. onein1.com.
Mr. Booth, you just had your 15,000-mile checkup. I know. Could you double-check it all for me? I just want to make sure it's perfect. Sure. Ready to go when you are. 2, kiddo.
You sure you don't want to check the car again?
Certified peace of mind, thanks to the Chevy Certified Service Experts.
Get an oil change, tire rotation, and inspection for only $29.95 or less after mail-in rebate.
From one dependable trip to the next, Chevy runs deep.
The radical new MacBook Pro with Retina display. Innovation in every dimension.
Get live look-ins and highlights of every game on the show that brings it all into focus.
This season, don't miss a moment.
Watch MLB Tonight. For schedule and channel number, go to MLBnetwork.com.
Manuel Corpus, the right-hander, takes over. Former Colorado Rocky deals inside ball 1, 92 to Saltalamacchia. Samardzija, the starter, went 5 1/3, 3 runs on 4 hits. Wells and now Corpus, and a shattered bat, dangerous into the seats, and a fly ball to Soriano. 1 out. And it's tonight's Burger King smooth play of the game. And back in the 3rd inning, the home run by Saltalamacchia off Samardzija. Saltalamacchia's 12th of the season. And one of 3 times he was on base to begin his night. 1 out here in the 8th inning, and the batter is Middlebrooks. Corpus drops down from the hole. It's Castro. What a play. Starlin Castro with a nice play to his right, showed off the good arm. 2 out.
What makes this play that much more difficult, little tricky hop, and he's going to his right, back across his body, strong throw. If he's going toward first, it's not as good a play, but when he has to stop and do all the things he had to do, it was a nice play.
Randy Wells, by the way, the run he gave up last inning in the 7th, the difference in the game now, an inning and 2/3 for Wells, a run on 3 hits, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. And with 2 out, nobody on, Corpus deals with Adrian Gonzalez, who is 0 for 2 with a walk, and he takes a ball down and in. Adrian tonight has fly to center, struck out. That was against the starter Samardzija. Vicente Padilla, the right-hander, has been up for a while. First just pantomiming a throw with a towel, and now he is more in the mode like he's going into the ball game, as they're going over the hitters coming up in the bottom of the 8th inning, which will be Barney, Castro, and Soriano.
Talking to the bullpen coach Gary Tuck about that.
Here's a 2-0. Just inside, ball 3. Corpus is coming back from Tommy John surgery. At 19 saves the year the Rockies went to the World Series in 07 to play these Red Sox. That's down into the corner. Foul. While we have a chance, we'll give you a look at some of these numbers. The runs per game for the Red Sox, third best in baseball. Batting average, fourth in baseball. RBIs, fourth in baseball. Extra base hits, their first, but they're in last place, and they're the only team in MLB history ranked in the top 4 of these categories and in last place through 64 games.
Yeah, we talked about Boston in the opening, either a penthouse or a warehouse. When a lot of runs are scored, they win. When few runs are scored, they don't. This is the type game that's been unusual for Boston to win all year, a 4-3 game.
Here is a 3-1 from Corpus, the right-hander, and it's outside, a 2-out walk. Second time Gonzalez has walked. And the batter will be Ryan Sweeney. So while you watch Vicente Padilla getting loose down in the bullpen for the Red Sox, my thoughts go to Daniel Bard, who's pitching now out of the bullpen at the AAA level for the Boston Red Sox. We talked to Bobby Valentine about it before the game and said, are you trying to get him ready to come back as a starter, which is the project for 2012, or reinsert him into the area where he could be dominant as he was last year, out of the bullpen, throwing hard and trying to get some of the velocity back? And he said, well, we don't really know at this point, but we may have a change in our philosophy, giving him more of a set goal to try and achieve at the AAA level as we try to make him king of the hill again.
It would seem to me, Joe, that the sooner they make their mind up, the better it's going to be for Daniel Bard, because right now, and knowing pitchers, he's caught in between.
Little flare on the infield. Who wants it? Castro, inning over, and a scoreless inning put up by Corpus, the right-hander. For the Cubs, the big bats coming up, including Castro and Soriano, down by 1.
There are those who think a car that looks like this, feels like this, or moves like this might be too much of a good thing. Nonsense. At Jaguar, we believe that too much of a good thing is a very good thing. The 2012 Jaguar XF. Let your Jaguar retailer make a good thing come alive for you.
From the 7 seas of deliciousness, Quiznos Lobster and Seafood Salad Sub and Lobster and Seafood Fresh Salad are back. There she blows. Come in today and catch it while you can. Quiznos, toasty.
There's a stain and sealant in one that waterproofs, protects, and beautifies with every single stroke. We call it Olympic Maximum. You'll call it the ultimate multitasker. Insist on Olympic. Available at Lowe's and other fine retailers.
Sometimes circles just make sense. Most knee replacements follow an oval motion. The Get Around knee from Stryker is designed to replace the knee's naturally circular motion. Don't just replace your knee, replace the way your knee moves. All surgery has risks. Recovery takes time and individual results vary. The lifetime of any device is limited and depends on several factors like weight and activity level. Ask your doctor if the Get Around knee is right for you.
When you wait forever for the cable guy, you get bored. When you get bored, you start staring out windows. When you start staring out windows, you see things you shouldn't see. When you see things you shouldn't see, you need to vanish. When you need to vanish, you fake your own death. When you fake your own death, you dye your eyebrows. And when you dye your eyebrows, you attend your own funeral as a guy named Phil Shifley. Don't attend your own funeral as a guy named Phil Shifley. Get rid of cable and upgrade to DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
This is baseball night in America, and this is turning into a good game here at Wrigley Field. Tonight's game presented by Budweiser. Glad you're with us. Glad they're with us. And here is Vicente Padilla taking over in the 8th. And for Padilla, he has really become a weapon out of the bullpen for the Red Sox. He has a 6-game scoreless streak, his longest of the season. And he starts the 8th inning fresh. Gonzalez moves to first base. Nava goes to left. off the bench. Podsednik shifts from left to center. And Ryan Sweeney's now in right. This is as good defensively with the moves that were made as the Red Sox can be, trying to protect a one-run lead, and that means that David Ortiz is out of the ballgame. Darwin Barney at the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike from Padilla. After Barney, it's Castro and Soriano. That's foul and out of play, strike 2.
And you and I both know that Padilla possesses a pitch that the Cubs have never seen.
It's borderline Ephus-like. It's just a lollipop.
Yeah. We were talking to Bobby Valentine about it before the game. He said, look, gives the hitters a different look. Do I like it? Sure. Especially with the job Padilla's done for him.
This bullpen through the end of April had a group ERA of 6.10, worst in the big leagues. Since May 1st, 2.31, best in the big leagues. It's been a great turnaround for that group out there for Bobby Valentine. And the count, you can see the velocity still good for Padilla. 94, misses up and away 2-2.
And a real credit to both Gary Tuck, the bullpen coach, and Bob McClure, the pitching coach, staying with the guys in the bullpen. Bob McClure not with the team.
Got a family situation. This is his 8th game missed. Here's a 2-2. Fly ball into left field. That ball is out. Caught by Nava. And it's going to be interesting to look at that replay. The third base umpire, Chad Fairchild, called him out. Let's see if this ball didn't bounce into the glove of Nava.
It did. It's a short hop. The guys in the Chicago bullpen were calling that game, or calling that play immediately. I said it was a short hop. I hope I'm not premature in that. It looked like it hit the ground before it came into leather. I was wrong.
I think it's a catch.
It is a catch and a good call by Chad Fairchild.
It hits the ground, but the glove is underneath.
He's got leather between the ball and the ground.
That's a great call by Chad Fairchild, the third base umpire. Dale Swaim has got that ground level view from the dugout. The bullpen guys reacted. That ball bounced into the glove, but the glove was on top of the grass, between the ball and the grass, and it certainly looks like that was a good call and left.
Absolutely.
So now they're going to get the umpires together and see if somebody else had a better view. The crew chief is Tom Hallion. He's in the background there. He is the second base umpire tonight.
And he was the only umpire that would have had a better view than third base umpire Chad Fairchild. They made the right call, though.
Let's take another look at it in regular speed and see how difficult this call is. Nava made a great play. And the umpires are going to stay with out number 1 of the inning.
How about that? Bobby Valentine making a defensive move in the bottom of the 8th inning, and it proves fortuitous for the Red Sox, putting Podsednik into left field, or I beg your pardon, Nava into left field, Podsednik into center. And Daniel made a very, very good play for the first out in this inning.
So now Starlin Castro. By the way, Bobby Valentine did not use a double switch, so he still has the pitcher batting in the number 9 spot. That means that Nava will bat in the spot vacated by David Ortiz. Here's Castro, and there's a strike over the inside corner from Padilla. Castro has hit 5 home runs. Tonight he's lined out, reached on an error, been out stealing and singled. Andrew Miller, the tall left-hander, is still getting loose for the Red Sox in their bullpen. All this in an effort to set up Alfredo Aceves. If he gets his chance, he'll look for his 16th save of the season as the count goes to 0-2. And a nice shot of that catch. The photographer able to upload those pictures right to his laptop. A strikeout on a high delivery by Padilla. Castro is gone. 2 out here in the 8th. Tonight's game presented by Budweiser is sponsored by Michelin, a better way forward, and by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. The crowd booing Alfonso Soriano as he makes his way to the plate because of that ground out, or line out turned into a ground out. And a ball hit to third. Back in the 6th with 2 on. At the time, the Cubs were down 3-0. Strike 1 from Padilla. He hit a line drive to third. It was juggled, dropped, fumbled, picked up, and thrown to first by Middlebrooks at third while Soriano didn't run, and the crowd let him have it. And they booed him on his way to the plate here in the 8th. The 0-1, strike 2. And here's that play back in the 6th. And then he became the easy out. The fans in left really let him hear it when he came back out to his spot.
Alfonso hoping for atonement by tying this game up. With his power, he can do it.
He's got 12 home runs, and he takes high, ball 1. He's been on a home run tear. Padilla so far an uneventful 8th. Valentine, who trusts that bullpen, watches on a 1-2 count. A strikeout ends the inning. And more good work from Vicente Padilla, who now has made 7 straight scoreless appearances. Let's go to the 9th here at Wrigley. 4-3 Boston.
Using a MasterCard prepaid card instead of cash saves you check cashing fees with direct deposit straight to your card. Saves you time by not having to stand in line to pay your bills. And gives you the convenience of shopping online. Over time, these little changes can make a big difference. Saving you time and money, that's MasterCard. Making this moment happen, that's priceless. Find the right MasterCard prepaid card for you at yourmoneysmarter.com/prepaid.
You're at the age where you don't get thrown by curveballs. This is the age of knowing how to get things done. So why let erectile dysfunction get in your way? Talk to your doctor about Viagra. 20 million men already have. Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain. It may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects include headache, flushing, upset stomach, and abnormal vision. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing. This is the age of taking action. Viagra. Talk to your doctor.
The crossover. We have the technology to rebuild it. SkyActiv technology makes it stronger than it was before, with advanced safety features that make it an IIHS top safety pick, and innovations like blind spot monitoring. The all-new Mazda CX-5 will be that crossover. Better, stronger, smarter. We build Mazdas. What do you drive?
If you can hold your nachos with one hand, you can be a hero with the other. Because your nachos are wrapped inside Taco Bell's new 99-cent beefy nacho burrito.
Dance hits Vegas as 200 hopefuls fight for a spot in the top 20.
I'm dying! You're going home!
Don't miss the most dramatic Vegas week yet.
It's not moving.
So you think you can dance? All new Wednesday at 8/7 Central on Fox.
1-run game as we go into the 9th inning. 9 o'clock straight up here in Chicago. Give you an update and a little recap after something happens here to start the 9th inning, and it's a base hit off the bat of Mike Aviles. And he is 2 for his last 2, 2 for 4 on the night. And Nick Punto will come off the bench to bat for Padilla. There's the score. Valbuena with a 3-run shot for Chicago in the 7th, made it 4-3. Lester got 2 outs into the 7th inning, gave way to the bullpen, and Saltalamacchia with a 2-run home run in the 4th inning. Been on base 3 times tonight. And here is Punto. The Cubs are looking for the bunt. Red Sox have a bench now of Darnell McDonald, Kelly Shopping, the backup catcher, and Kevin Youkilis. And Alfredo Aceves, the closer for the Red Sox, gets loose. Punto, a vital part-time starter, bench player for the Cardinals last year. He got a ring. No sign of a bunt. He takes a strike.
You know why I think there's no sign of a bunt, Joe? It's because Podsednik is the on-deck batter. Scott does not have a lot of power to drive the ball to the outfield. The outfield would be playing shallow. I think that's why he did it on the first pitch, thinking he'd get a good pitch to hit. The ball was inside. We'll see.
See if they stick with a swing or let him bunt. A check on the runner at first. As a right-hander gets loose, Sean Camp was up earlier, and he is cranking it up again. While Aceves, the closer for the Red Sox, gets loose and right. Corpus pitched to scoreless 8th, did walk a man. Here's a 1-0. Now the bunt. The bunt's foul for strike 2. 0-2. Aviles will have to go back to first. And we'll see what Bobby Valentine does here. Probably back to the swing. It's Jerry Royster, the third base coach. Punto hitting just .209. Valbuena backs up a bit over at third. A check on Aviles. Cubs trying to get up off the deck and take the first 2 games of this 3-game set here at Wrigley. The Red Sox losing yesterday 3-0, led tonight 4-0 until the bottom of the 7th when Dale Swaim's third baseman Luis Valbuena hit an opposite field 3-run home run off Lester. The charts for Dale Swaim, and now an 0-2 pitch to Punto. Outside, ball 1. Punto waits for a 1-2 pitch from Manuel Corpus. He got him. Corpus gets him on a strikeout as he pulled the string, and Punto does not advance the runner 1 on 1 out.
That's the first time Corpus has thrown that changeup. Well, that was a beauty. Coming back from Tommy John surgery. Punto way out in front. Talked about it earlier. Jeff Baker playing for the Rockies in 2007. So did Corpus, playing against the Red Sox in the World Series.
You can help keep Dad in the game. Join Major League Baseball in supporting the Prostate Cancer Foundation with a home run challenge. Visit MLBcommunity.org or homerunchallenge.org to learn more. The batter is Podsednik. He's 2 for 4. His RBI is the difference in the game. It came in the 7th. There goes Aviles. The throw down by Castillo in time. Got it. 2 out.
What a rocket. You know, we talked about Castillo earlier, about his footwork behind home plate. And Dale Swaim saying he's going to be a regular catcher one of these days. That's a tough play. A short hop, backhanded, and he throws a strike to second base. Boy, that's impressive. That's hard to do.
And you can see why. Swaim likes what he sees defensively out of Castillo, and then he finished the comments by saying, and he'll hit too. And he did that in the minor leagues this year, so he's getting his chance. Soto was not hitting when he went down. He had arthroscopic surgery on his knee. He will be back at the beginning of the week when the Cubs are on the south side. 2-0 the count on Podsednik with Pedroia on deck. Still a one-run game. Out of play, 2-1. The Cubs in the bottom of this ninth inning will have Baker, then the pitcher's spot, and then Castillo. Anybody gets on Valbuena, who has the only RBIs of the night for the Cubs with that 3-run shot 2 innings ago. Two and one on Podsednik, looking for a 3-hit night. Out in front of that pitch, 2-2. There's rain in the area, and it's headed our way. Red Sox have lost 3 on the bases tonight in what is now a 1-run game. Ortiz in the first inning, Saltalamacchia between second and third in the sixth, and now Avila's trying to steal here in the ninth. Here comes a 2-2 pitch. And that drills Podsednik to keep the top of the ninth inning going.
That fastball from Corpus hit Scott in the right pocket, right below it.
Here comes Pedroia, who's 0 for 4 tonight with 4 groundouts. Nothing really hard hit tonight so far for Dustin as he tries to figure out Corpus, the right-hander. 2 out in the inning, and Podsednik, this would be a time to run. He draws a throw. Scott is 6 of 7 trying to steal bases since he was added to this roster. He brings a different element to this Boston team, something they lack when they don't have Jacoby Ellsbury around or Carl Crawford. Corpus drops down and misses down and away, ball 1.
Better pitch on which to run here because the chance of a pitch out remote. Plus, you got a guy who can handle the bats, not afraid to hit with 2 strikes in Pedroia. He can afford to take a pitch if he sees Podsednik running.
Remember, on deck is Nava, not David Ortiz. He was lifted for defense. Dropped down, and Pedroia swung at a chin-high pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. There's Nava. Here's a 1-1. Way outside from Corpus, ball 2.
Just watching Castillo move behind the plate, he reminds me of Benito Santiago when he first came in to the league back in 1986 with San Diego. Similar movements with that long, wiry body, but boy, with that throw to second base, I think that deterred Bobby Valentine for sending Podsednik.
Yeah, I was going to say, it got the attention of Podsednik, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Valentine, who was watching Avilas cut down for the second out of the inning. 2-1 the count on Pedroia. Popped up. Right side will stay in play, and it's Darwin Barney who wants it, has it, sets us up for the bottom of the ninth inning. Aceves will take over. Baker, a pinch hitter, Castillo coming up. Cubs down by 1.
You always wanted to have the biggest, baddest beard. Keep Keep living the dream with Just for Men for mustache and beard. Easy. Brush in and gray is gone in 5 minutes.
That gray beard is a new baby.
You can tell that it's mine when you look in my eyes.
When we all believe there are no limits, we take our best shots, make our best moves. When we all believe, we reach higher and nothing stops us. When we all believe in the power within, we pave the road to victory. The 2012 Jeep Wrangler, proudly believing in USA basketball.
To the man who coached me, yelled at me, supported me. To the man who cheered me on, slapped me on the back, stood by me. To the man who made me the man I am today.
Gillette, the best a man can get.
The fifth quarter. 60 minutes after the game, when you finish the competition for good. Take in protein, start rebuilding muscle, and stay in the game. He's in the fifth quarter. Are you? Protein to rebuild muscle. Gatorade Recover, part of the G Series.
Aceves has certainly done his part in that red-hot Boston Red Sox bullpen. 13 of 14 in the save department. Good ERA, low opponent's average. Only 2 home runs allowed since the 23rd of April. So like the rest of the group down there for the Red Sox, he got off to a slow start. But he has been on a roll, and here he is trying to save it for John Lester.
Yeah, that last number was what the Cubs are looking at going into the 9th inning, hoping perhaps to get a ball up in the wind and take advantage of that wind blowing out and tie the game.
Clevenger will lead it off. Then it's LaHare who's in the on-deck circle. Clevenger batting for Baker. Then LaHare, then Castillo. Cardenas is the only one left on the bench for Dale Swain. Clevenger had a bases loaded 2-run hit in yesterday's first inning. The Cubs, if they've done one thing, they've scored 9th inning runs, the most in baseball with 42. Clevenger try to get it going. One of the 2 catchers, soon to be maybe 3 catchers on the active roster for the Cubs, with Soto coming back, strike 1.
Oh, that was hittable. He wants that one back. Clevenger, a good swing on a bad pitch. Behind in the count.
We saw Valbuena get one up into the jet stream out to left center in the 7th on a similar pitch. And it is blowing out. Here comes the 0-1 from Aceves. Had Clevenger out in front. Now it's 0-2. Clayton Mortensen, a right-hander who was just activated, is getting some work in down in the bullpen. He was recalled when Beckett went on the DL today. Here's a fly ball into center, a base hit. And on an 0-2 count, Clevenger is on to start this 9th inning for Chicago.
Aceves tried to come inside bad. I know it was hit hard, but that is not a bad 0-2 pitch. He crowded him around the letters. Sometimes you just have to tip your cap to the hitter, and that was the case with Clevenger then.
And here's a kid who grew up a Red Sox fan, Brian LaHare.
First major league hit against the Red Sox.
And he's had a flair for the dramatic. He had a great series here against the Cubs' rival, the Cardinals, earlier in the season. And you can see his favorite player, Nomar Garciaparra. Ken Rosenthal, you have more on Brian LaHair.
Well, he definitely has some New England roots. He played for J.P. Ricciardi, the former Blue Jays GM, as a basketball player at Holy Name High School in Worcester, Mass. And also, you mentioned Nomar. Well, Michael Garciaparra, his younger brother, Nomar's younger brother, was in LaHair's wedding. They were teammates of the Seattle Mariners organization.
He's got a ton of power, and it wouldn't take much from him to get one out of here with this wind blowing out and be a hero for the Cubs tonight.
12 home runs on the year.
He was with Seattle, as Ken mentioned, in 08. He got to the big leagues. Last year came up a check on the runner. That's Clevenger, who has a tiny lead. Winning run at the plate, tying run at first here in the ninth. Strike two.
Good changeup again from Aceves.
Well framed by Saltalamacchia. 8 of the 12 home runs hit by LaHair this season have either tied the game or given the Cubs a lead. If he gets one here, he'll give the Cubs a win. Spoils the pitch. 81 miles per hour from Aceves, still 0-2. There's a guy that's really hit well against right-handed pitching, 333. And out to talk is Saltalamacchia. Tying run at first. Winning run at the plate. Nobody out here in the ninth inning. Cubs and Red Sox. Aceves steps off. Late swing and a foul.
That's what happens when you throw 2 straight changeups in a row and you make a major league hitter look bad. It slows down the bat. That's why the fastball inside's a good pitch after 2 good changeups.
LaHair waits for an 0-2 pitch. But a good rip at that pitch. Still 0-2. LaHair knows all the talk about Anthony Rizzo, the young player behind him. At the AAA level, the 22-year-old, and LaHair could creep onto the list of players moved by the Cubs if somebody wants a left-handed batter with some power.
Yeah, if you hit, you'll play somewhere.
Overall hitting .298 with those 12 home runs. There's the tying run, nobody out. Another 0-2. Not close. Changeup floated away.
Yeah, that's the 8th pitch of the inning and the first ball thrown by Aceves.
He can hit a wild streak. He hasn't done that much lately. Sweating through it in the dugout is Bobby Valentine, seeing if the Red Sox can get to within a game of 500. Aceves ready with a 1-2 pitch. 2-2. Those last two pitches, even though the previous pitch was so far outside, it's an 80, 81 mile an hour changeup and a 94 mile per hour fastball. On deck is the young catcher and rookie Wellington Castillo. But right now it's LaHair and Aceves. One out and a big strikeout for the Boston right-hander.
Aceves finishing off LaHair with the tailing fastball away. Good pitch after those off-speed pitches. Set him up.
Now Castillo. Wellington has been on base twice, and the time he was retired, he lined out. He lined out, singled, and walked all against Lester, who's the pitcher of record for the Red Sox on the plus side. Breaking ball is in for a strike. Stuff that Aceves brings with him to the mound is the reason why he can be a starter if you need him to be a starter, a setup man, or a closer. Andrew Bailey, the Red Sox traded for from Oakland, hurt at the end of spring training. It's Aceves' job, and that one misses down and away. A ball and a strike. Castillo hit 4 home runs in the minor leagues this season at Double-A, Triple-A. He's got 1 in the big leagues. Waits for a 1-1. Might end the ball game. Middlebrooks out at second, out at first, and the Red Sox win it 4-3. A 5-4-3 double play from Middlebrooks to Pedroia and on to first to Adrian Gonzalez. Lester gets his 4th win of the year. Samardzija suffers his 5th loss, and in a 3-hour, 6-minute game, Aceves throws the double play ball, and he gets his 16th save of the season. For Tim and Ken, I'm Joe. So long from Chicago. You've been watching Fox Sports, home of the 2012 All-Star Game, NLCS and World Series. Up next, Matt Vasgersian and Eric Burns at the MLB Network studios. Right after this, turned into a good game, didn't it? At Wrigley Field, Red Sox win it. Good night from Chicago.
I'm a Major League Baseball All-Star.
I worked hard for my team, for my league.
I play for the American League.
I play for the National League.
I will win.
The MLB All-Star Game on Fox.
Tonight at 9, hundreds gathered to pay their respects to a New Windsor man killed in the line of duty. Plus, it's the last night the Mississippi Valley Fairgrounds will play host to the motorcycle capital of the world. We'll take you to where the engines are revving up tonight at 9.
Don't throw away that non-winning Iowa Lottery scratch ticket. It's not trash. It could even help you earn treasures. Earn points for prizes by entering your non-winning Iowa Lottery scratch tickets at ialottery.com. Every ticket is worth points that you can redeem for great prizes, because everyone deserves to enjoy the finer things in life.
Every Tuesday, don't miss the Sony season of Oxygen's The Glee Project on Dish. All month long, Dish is giving away trips to Universal Orlando Resort, where you'll rock out at a live performance by members of the Glee Project cast. Sign up for Dish now, and you could win a trip for 4. Discover all the action, thrills, and excitement at Universal's 2 amazing theme parks. And stay on site at the Hard Rock Hotel. Call 888-623-1957 or go to dish.com now to learn more.
Here we go, buddy.
Give me a feature back.
Ooh, turn it up.
All right.
That always comes shining through.
Right now at Blaine's Farm and Fleet, a Laren 2-ton floor jack and jack stand combo is $34.99. This S-Twing 20-ounce straight claw hammer is $19.99. And ProGrip 27-foot ratchet tie-downs, your choice, $9.99.
Find value at Farm and Fleet.
where 50 million kids are left alone after school. No one to teach them or guide them.
But for millions of kids, the opportunity to be great is just one door away. Fox Sports has partnered with Boys and Girls Clubs of America to help open doors to education and opportunity while preparing kids to have a great future.
We can all help change the lives of today's youth by giving them a hand.
Donate to Boys and Girls Clubs today. Greatfutures.org/Fox Sports.
And welcome to the Fox Baseball Night in America postgame show with Eric Burns, Matt Vasgersian. We just got through watching the Red Sox and Cubs, and the Red Sox, led by David Ortiz, even up the series at 1 win apiece.
Yeah, Saltalamacchia, his 12th home run of the year, but David Ortiz is having an incredible season. I think we're going to see him in Kansas City in a few weeks.
Perhaps an all-star. It would be his 8th Midsummer Classic appearance in this July. Don't miss the biggest event of the summer. Baseball's greatest stars battle for home field advantage in the Fall Classic. The road to the World Series begins with the 2012 Major League Baseball All-Star Game, Tuesday, July 10th, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, right here on Fox. In progress in the Sunshine State, the battle for Florida bragging rights. James Shields and Jose Reyes locking horns. Shields beat the Marlins just 5 days ago. Jose Reyes trying to turn that around tonight. Sean Rodriguez bringing the home team back in the 7th. And it looked for a moment like Jose Molina was going to send folks home in St. Pete happy.
He definitely gave it a run.
This ball driven all the way to the wall, trying to walk off the Marlins and make it 9 in a row for Tampa Bay over their interstate rivals. Instead, they're in extra innings. Bottom half of the 10th, all tied at 3. Earlier this afternoon, Yankees and Nationals with Tyler Moore aboard. Adam LaRoche singles to right. Dwayne Wise throws home. The call is out at the plate, but upon further review.
I think Major League Baseball needs to look into expanded replay because that costs the Nationals a game.
Bad day for young Bryce Harper, 0 for 7 with 5 strikeouts, and this is the knock that would end up as the game winner. Mark Teixeira getting to Brad Lidge for a 2-run double. Yankees win 5-3. They have won a season-best 8 straight. We talk about all-stars from this Cubs-Red Sox game. David Ortiz, who represents the Chicago Cubs in Kansas City in a month.
Wow. I'd probably have to go with Starlin Castro, but that'd pretty much be by default. Maybe Jeff Samardzija. I'm a Notre Dame fan.
So going back to that, next Saturday, Baseball Night in America returns, a full slate of interleague matchups. Yankees take on the Mets, Dodgers, Angels, Braves, Red Sox, Nationals, Orioles, all in action. It starts at 7 Eastern. For Eric Burns, Matt Vasgersian, we'll see you next week.
F1 Racing is on Fox. The European Grand Prix, June 24th.
I'm a Major League Baseball All-Star.
I worked hard to take this field. For my team, for my league.
Some call it an all-star break.
It's not a break.
It's not a break.
I play
For the American League.
I play for the National League.
I will win.
The road to October starts here.
The MLB All-Star Game, July 10th on Fox.
We are Fox Sports!
Tonight at 9, a pilot walks away unscathed after his stunt plane dive bombs into a golf course. And a somber day for area communities as hundreds gather to mourn the loss of a soldier killed in action. Those stories tonight at 9.
These days, your style is whatever suits you. Right now, it's buy one, get one free on most everything in the store. Jeans, jackets, shirts, ties. Because if it suits you, it suits us. You're gonna like the way you look. I guarantee it.
What's your dream?
My dream? To own my home. 2 kids and a ginormous slobbering dog.
A minivan.
Minivan?
Yes, a minivan. In the city.
Country. Burbs.
To find a cure. College.
My own business. To retire tomorrow.
To retire today.
To leave my mark.
A flower shop. Gosh, that's my dream.
You gotta hold on to your dream.
With both hands.
Till your knuckles turn white. Your dream is out there.
Go get it.
We'll protect it.
Protect your dreams at amfam.com.
American Family Insurance.
The private sector is doing fine. The private sector is doing fine. Private sector is doing fine.
I'm Mitt Romney, and I approve this message.
Look around. There's a new type of suit in America. Short jacket, narrow lapel, modern fit. Right now, it's buy one, get one free on most everything in the store, including the type of suits that suit today. You're going to like the way you look. I guarantee it.
On the next 2.5 Men, Charlie's fallen, and he can't get it up.
Turn your handcuff.
You have very warm hands.
Again?
You have very warm hands. On 2.5 Men.
Monday at 5 on your Fox 18.
Leonard's secretly seeing Raj's sister.
You slept with my sister?
Your sister is a grown woman, and to her, I'm a forbidden piece of white chocolate.
Next Big Bang.
Monday at 6 on Fox 18.
When it comes to comedy, these guys are in a league of their own. The Big Bang Theory.
Weeknights at 6 on Fox 18.
I'm Dave Heller, an owner of the River Bandits, and I am so excited about this season. We've got new promotions, great entertainment, and more bobbleheads than ever to give away. We're handing out these World Series Championship replica rings, giving away a free wedding, 2 free college scholarships, and we're dropping candy from a helicopter. But the best thing about being at a River Bandits game is you never know what's going to happen next. See what I mean? The River Bandits at Modern Woodman Park. You gotta see the show.
It's time for your Fox 18 9 o'clock news.
A Quad City community comes together in a solemn ceremony to honor a fallen soldier killed in the line of duty. Good evening, I'm Rebecca Smith. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with breaking weather. Storms continue to roll through the area. Anthony Peoples is here now with more. Hi, Anthony.
Hi there, Vanessa. It's been a very stormy night across the Mississippi and Illinois River Valley. For a brief moment tonight, we even had a tornado warning out for east central Knox County and part of Stark County. Here's the last 6 hours of satellite radar, and that is the big area of storms right there that moved into the area, bringing with it severe thunderstorm warnings, some very heavy rain, intense lightning. At one point this evening, we had over 1,300 lightning strikes in about a 5 to 10 minute period. A very intense rainfall too. Some areas picked up 1 to 3 inches of rain, which, did cause a little bit of flash flooding. Right now, that rain is heading east of the Mississippi, still along the Mississippi River. Here's how it developed out across southwestern and south central Iowa. And right there, about 6 to 8 o'clock this evening, it moved right into the Quad Cities. But skies are clearing out beautifully behind it, which means we're going to be setting the stage for a beautiful Father's Day. 70 degrees our temperature late this evening, a west wind at 9. Storms will begin to wind down as we head through the evening, and better conditions for your Sunday. I'll have your full Fox 18 forecast coming up.
A Rock Island home is destroyed after an early morning fire. Firefighters responded around 4 a.m. to 1324 4th Avenue after battling a smaller house fire on 17th Street. The 2-story home was completely destroyed. Investigators say no one was living there. The house on 17th Street had hardly any damage. Hundreds gathered together today to honor Corporal B.J. Luxmore, a New Windsor resident who was killed in Afghanistan this past week. Fox 18's Polly Mayfield has the story.
A processional for Corporal Bryant B.J. Luxmore of New Windsor left the Quad City Airport late this morning. Over 100 Patriot Guard members and a dozen of cars rode along Highway 150 and Route 17 through New Windsor, Viola, and Aledo, a route lined with thousands of flags and grateful Americans.
It takes your breath away, so it makes you feel proud to be an American when you see all that.
Doug McKay is a proud father of a Marine that went to high school with Corporal Luxmore and just returned from Iraq.
Indescribable, I guess. It's the pain they're going through, and I know when our son was over there, every time the phone rang, I expected the worst.
He sat in the bed of his truck to watch the processional pass by, his way of saying thanks.
A lot of people don't realize the sacrifice of them young boys that's 18 and 19 going over there and, putting their lives on the line for people.
And on this Father's Day weekend, Luxmore leaves behind a wife and a 3-year-old son. One dad used this opportunity to teach his 3 children a valuable lesson about those that make the ultimate sacrifice.
These guys are 11, 6, and 3, and they need to know why we get up every morning and do everything that we do. It's because these soldiers keep us safe.
A lesson that will stick with them forever.
It brings me to tears to see how much everyone supports everyone who's helped us stay free, and it's just really amazed me. I'm very thankful.
Polly Mayfield, Fox 18 News.
Visitation for Corporal Luxmore is set for Monday at 2, and the funeral will be Tuesday at 9 a.m., both at Sherrard High School. Thousands of bikers from across the country are cruising the QC tonight for the 18th annual Mississippi River Motorcycle Rally. Right now, over at the fairgrounds, it's just packed with motorcycles for the final night of the event. Hundreds of bikes are on display, and the band King's Kiss will be performing at 10 o'clock. The rally also features world-famous body painter Mark Reed. It's a chance for everyone to come together and enjoy a common interest.
It's about being on two wheels, being free on the road, and you know, having a good time. It's a lot of good people out here to meet. It's a good time.
30 awards were given to bike owners whose bikes received the most votes. Quad City Boy Scouts got the wheels rolling on earning a new badge today. The Scouts met at the Iowa 80 Trucking Museum in Walcott from noon till 3 to learn about the history of the transportation industry. The museum visit is a requirement for troops who want to earn their trucking transportation badge.
I'm having a ton of fun. I'm with my brother here and a friend named Brent Allman from our troop. Yeah, and we just came back from a camp out, so we're having a blast.
Scouts not only got to tour the museum, they also got to learn about opportunities in the industry. Today's event was free. Hundreds of health nuts gathered near the Freight House today to learn about healthy living and going green. The 6th annual Healthy Living Fair was hosted by Radish Magazine. That one focuses on local food and health products. The fair featured alpacas, which apparently are eco-friendly because of their grazing habits. There were also massage therapy services. Products ranging from food to organic hair products were sold.
I hope people who come to the fair see just how many great resources we have right in our area, you know, and then leave maybe inspired to try something new.
People could also take part in physical fitness activities like Zumba and different types of yoga. Still ahead, the first family travels to their home away from home while they're all together in the Windy City for the first time in 2 years. Plus, a stunt goes south, literally, when a pilot dive bombs into a golf course. Frightening video ahead.
You're watching your Fox 18 9 o'clock news with Rebecca Smith, Anthony Peoples, and Corey Cuffley. This is your Fox 18 9 o'clock news.
I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.
It started like this.
I speak the language of business. I know how jobs are created.
But it ended like this. One of the worst economic records in the country. When Mitt Romney was governor, Massachusetts lost 40,000 manufacturing jobs, a rate twice the national average, and fell to 47th in job creation, 4th from the bottom. Instead of hiring workers from his own state, Romney outsourced call center jobs to India. He cut taxes for millionaires like himself while raising them on the middle class and left the state $2.6 billion deeper in debt. So now, when Mitt Romney talks about what he'd do as president,
I know what it takes to create jobs.
Remember, we've heard it all before.
I know how jobs are created.
Romney Economics. It didn't work then, and it won't work now.
When you're getting great fuel efficiency and everything you want, you're living life on full.
I like the gas mileage, especially in this economy. Anything to help save a little money is very nice.
The park assist was amazing. Whoa. Wow, that was pretty cool.
I really enjoy my car, but this is even better.
Right now, get a fuel-efficient Ford Escape with no interest for 5 years, plus $1,750 bonus cash.
So if you want to live your life on full, see your local Ford dealer today.
When you need to get the job done, nothing beats the reliability, efficiency, and value of a Kubota. And right now, during Kubota Rewards, take advantage of 0 down and 0% APR for up to 60 months on new Kubota garden tractors, compact tractors, zero-turn mowers, and utility vehicles. It pays to own orange. See your Kubota dealer today.
Kunow Implement. DeWitt and Preston, Iowa. www.kunowimplement.com.
2.5 Men. Weekdays at 5 and 10 on your Fox 18. Your Fox 18 9 o'clock news continues now.
The First family are all back home in Chicago tonight for the first time in 2 years. They're in the Windy City for the wedding of White House advisor Valerie Jarrett's daughter. It's the first time all 4 of the Obamas have been at their Kenwood home since Memorial Day of 2010. But it's only until tomorrow. The president will head to Mexico on Sunday for the G20 summit, while the First Lady travels west to give the commencement speech at Oregon State University. A crash at an Idaho air show provided for some very scary moments. The stunt plane was appearing at the Legacy Air Show in Rexburg. It was in the air when it just lost power and went into a series of rolls before crashing into a golf course. The pilot was the only one in the plane, and nobody on the ground was hurt. The pilot wasn't hurt either, we should mention. Not too bad. Shoppers caught in the crossfire when a bomb goes off at a marketplace, and villagers climb 2 cell phone towers to send a very clear message. Those are our top stories as we go around the world in 80 seconds.
Pakistan, a powerful bomb exploding in a crowded public market, killing at least 26 people and wounding dozens more. The target, a tribal leader who worked with the Pakistani government against the Taliban. He escaped unhurt. So far, no terror group is claiming responsibility. India, a bus plunging deep into a rocky gorge. First responders rushing to pull survivors from the wreckage, but unable to save 30 of them. The bus loaded with pilgrims on their way to a Hindu holy site. No word on what caused the crash. Farther north in India, a group of villagers climbing hundreds of feet to the top of 2 cell phone towers. They say they're upset because the towers were built too close to a Hindu temple, and the government has ignored their demands to move them. About 6 of the protesters actually making it to the top, saying they will stay there until their demands are met. The United Kingdom. Happy birthday to the Queen, 86 years old, Queen Elizabeth II on hand for the color ceremony. The entire royal family in attendance, including her husband, Prince Philip, now recovered from a recent illness. You'll remember, 2 weeks ago, her giant jubilee for 60 years on the throne. Yep, this queen likes to party. And that's a wrap on this Fox trip around the world in 80 seconds.
Still ahead, seafood lovers broke out the bibs today for the 6th annual Lobster Fest. And every juicy bite is for a good cause. The story after the break, next on your Fox 18, 9 o'clock news.
And the severe thunderstorm watch for the Quad Cities ending, and now we're going to see some improving conditions once these storms move out. Your Fox 18 forecast is up next.
On your wedding day, when everyone is looking at her, she'll be looking at you. So rent your tuxedo at Men's Warehouse, and you'll look almost as good as she does.
You're going to like the way you look. I guarantee it.
My Buick Enclave is filled with innovations that make it incredibly intelligent, like smart slide seating and a power liftgate. But all people seem to remember is how good it looks. I can relate. If you don't know the smart and sexy Enclave, you don't know Buick.
Now get 2 years of premium services on the 2012 Buick Enclave for just $299 per month. Consider it a new lease on luxury.
I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.
We're still fighting our way back from the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. Our businesses have created almost 4.3 million new jobs over the last 27 months, but we're still not creating them as fast as we want.
The President's Jobs Plan would put teachers, firefighters, police officers, and construction workers back to work right now. And it's paid for by asking the wealthiest Americans to pay a little more. But Congress refuses to act. Tell Congress we can't wait.
These days, your style is whatever suits you. Right now, it's buy one, get one free on most everything in the store. Jeans, jackets, shirts, ties. Because if it suits you, it suits us. You're going to like the way you look. I guarantee it.
The Big Bang Theory of superheroes.
In what universe is Wonder Woman blonde? Relax, no one's gonna be looking at her hair.
The Big Bang Theory.
Weeknights at 6 on your Fox 18.
Hey, Quad Cities, I'm Steve Harvey, inviting you to play along at home with Family Feud. Weekdays at 4 on your Fox 18.
Truck and van owners, listen up. Quad City Spring. It's like turning your truck or van into a multi-purpose tool that you can drive. Quad City Spring. Suspension, towing, accessories, and equipment. River Drive, Moline.
Relax and shop over 400 new and used vehicles online at Ericksons.com.
And now, your Fox Storm Team weather with Anthony Peoples.
So, Anthony, we've been seeing a little bit of the severe storms in our area tonight.
That's right, Rebecca. We have seen a lot of wind, some intense cloud-to-ground lightning, and a lot of heavy rain. Those storms are now beginning to shift east and across the Mississippi Valley into the Illinois Valley, and they will continue to move out as the evening goes on, and conditions will be improving. Father's Day shaping up to be a very nice one with a sun and cloud mix, probably more sun than clouds, but I can't rule out an isolated shower. It's going to be hot though and humid. 69 is our current temperature, 93% humidity. Winds are calm at this time and pressure is rising at 29.88. Our high temperature today was 20 degrees warmer than that. We went up to 89 degrees. We have temperatures pretty uniform across the area in the 65 to 72 degree range. Savannah at 72, 70s coming in from Sterling, Clinton, Davenport, and Muscatine, 66 in Mount Pleasant, and Burlington at 68. We expand this view to show you that, boy, it was a warm one out in the plains today, but where we had these storms, temperatures have fallen back into the upper 60s at this time. Still very warm off to the east. Madison at 79, Milwaukee at 79, 80 in Rockford, and 86 downstate in Springfield. A couple of lines of storms moved through. We had a little cluster late this afternoon that caused a little bit of thunder and lightning, but look at the massive area of rain and storm activity that moved in later this afternoon and evening. This is the cluster that caused all of the severe thunderstorm warnings, and for a brief moment this evening there was a tornado warning out for east central Knox County and parts of Stark County. Now those storms are heading downstate. You can see from Peoria down to Springfield, another line over on the south side of Chicago. But look what's happening out behind this. Skies are already starting to clear out for the western two-thirds of Iowa. So what we're going to see, these storms will continue to move off to the east-southeast, and skies will begin to clear out tonight. So you're still hearing several rumbles of thunder in our eastern hometowns right now. Here's another view as those storms came in. We had some reports out of southeastern Iowa of 2 to 3 inches of rain in a short period of time. Also, the wind. We had some high wind gusts that not only knocked some trees down, but also flattened some corn this evening. Right now, the heaviest of rain lining up along and to the east of the Mississippi River. In any of these areas under the yellows and oranges and reds, seeing a very heavy amount of rain in a short period of time, which could cause a little bit of flash flooding, especially on area streets where the drains become a little overwhelmed with all the water coming in. Our Futurecast model does show that rain quickly moving off to the east-northeast, and as we wake up early on Sunday, Father's Day, you can see the wet weather to the east. However, we will see a couple of clouds at times during the day on Sunday, and an isolated shower can't be ruled out, and that'll be the same for Monday, but both days going to be very hot and very humid, along with the sun and cloud mix. Our forecast for tonight, the thunderstorms will be coming to an end, muggy and warm. Temperatures won't be changing too much from where they are right now. Tomorrow, a sun and cloud mix with an isolated shower or two, a high temperature of 89 degrees. Our 7-day forecast shows temperatures making it into the mid-90s for Monday. Keep in mind, the warmest temperature so far this season has been 94 degrees, but we could be up to 96 on Monday with a very slight chance of a shower. 94 on Tuesday. Wednesday night, Thursday, some more showers and storms move in, but hot temperatures. Temperatures all this week will pretty much be in the mid to upper 80s to low to mid 90s, which means we're going to be turning around. We've started out the month of June a little below average on temperatures, but that's going to be changing.
All right. Well, and if some people out there today might have felt like they were in the Northeast with our weather situation, and this would be highly appropriate, Lobster Fest 2012 over in Bettendorf. Hundreds of people got a stomach full of lobster this evening at the Bettendorf Rotary Lobster Fest. Looks like a good time. It started at 5:30 at Rivermont Collegiate. Those lobsters, by the way, were shipped to the Quad Cities from New England and prepared by chefs in front of guests. Each dinner plate Cost a pretty penny, 70 bucks, but it all goes to a good cause.
It's great to have a good time for a great cause, and we're raising over $20,000 for the charities. We'll give about $6,000 for the scholarship.
This is the 6th year for the event. Still ahead, softball isn't just a ladies' sport, and 3 sports, 1 event. Brett Nowak takes us to the Quad Cities Triathlon next in sports.
Wherever you look in the Quad Cities, there's a J.L. Brady professional making your life more comfortable and your environment cleaner. They install and service Bryant heating and cooling systems with today's green technologies and yesterday's commitment to quality and personal service. Every service professional at J.L. Brady has been carefully screened and trained, so we know the technician we send to your home or business is the kind of person you want to welcome inside. After all these years, doing it the Brady way, the right way.
Here we go, buddy.
To be a feature back.
Ooh, turn it up.
All right.
That always comes shining through.
Right now at Plains Farm and Fleet. Save on this Danby Premier 50-pint dehumidifier. It's $169.99. A Generac electric start portable generator is $799.99. And 3M Digital WorkTunes hearing protection, $39.99.
Find value at Farm and Fleet.
When you're driving the most fuel-efficient full-size pickup and getting all the power and capability you need, you're living life on full.
This felt like it was twice as strong as my truck. This is way better than Silverado.
Gas mileage is very important. Gas is not going to do anything but go up.
With diesel prices the way they are now, definitely want best-in-class fuel economy.
I think I made a mistake when I bought my Dodge.
Get a Ford F-150 with $4,500 cash savings, $1,500 bonus cash, and $750 extra for your trade.
So if you want to live your life on full, see your local Ford dealer today.
Checkers. Ready for some kickin' chicken? Checkers flavor-loaded boxes. Try our new spicy chicken bites. Juicy white meat kicked up with cayenne pepper. Or Checkers original fun and poppable chicken bites. Both loaded with seasoned fries. Spicy or original box for just $2 unbeatable bucks. Now that's a kick. Checkers, feast on. Do late night right. Satisfy all of your cravings at Checkers.
TMZ, we love Hollywood.
Oh, yeah, she's naked.
Especially her.
Welcome back. For those of you who out there that think softball is just for girls, well, think again. Several men's fast-pitch softball teams invaded Walcott this week for the 58th Annual International Softball Congress Tournament. And while most associate softball with females, men's fast-pitch has been around for decades. And despite a slight decrease in the number of teams in recent years, the game is still fun for the players and their fans.
There's a number of teams get in it for the experience. I know that they perhaps don't have a very good chance of winning the tournament, and then there's 3 or 4 that come here for the trophy and the enjoyment of winning the tournament.
It's a fun sport. It's kind of a little bit of a dying breed. I mean, certainly women's are certainly a more popular sport than men's, but it's kind of a cult out here, and we enjoy it.
And it was a triathlete's paradise this morning at Westlake Park in Davenport as hundreds took part in the 13th annual Quad Cities Triathlon. A little morning shower didn't affect the participants any, especially with a 18.3-mile course that began with a 600-yard swim. That was followed by a 15-mile bike ride, and the race culminated with a 3.1-mile run to the finish line.